mo kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi mọ̀mọ́ mi mo kí ọmọdé mo kí àgbà mo kí ọkùnrin mo kí obìnrin orúkọ mi ni Sunday Adéyẹmọ tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Sunday Igboho mo fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí mo fẹ́ fi bẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin brọ́dà mi sísítà mi ẹ̀yin mọ̀mọ́ mi ẹ̀yin bàbá mi tí ẹ lọ síbi prógámù kíní àjọ̀dún yóò tó ń ṣe ní Èkó tí bínú síra yín níbẹ̀ lánàá tẹ jà ẹ dákun mo bẹ̀ yín ẹ má jẹ́ ká bínú síra wa èdè onímú wa èdè onímú wa èdè onímú wa mo fi ń dá yín lójú pé Ọlọ́run ló pè wá jáde lásìkò yìí Ọlọ́run tó pè wá jáde yóò tì wá lẹ́yìn kò dẹ̀ ní tì wá lójú àti bẹ́ẹ̀ débi tá à ń lọ tán ẹ jẹ́ àfọkàn ara wa balẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ àfọkàn ara wa balẹ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ ká da ẹ má jẹ́ àbára wa jà ẹ má jẹ́ jíjà ọ̀sẹ̀ láàrin wa a níbi ìjà ẹ má jẹ́ kéde òmu wa orílẹ̀-èdè la fẹ́ gbà orílẹ̀-èdè wa òun la sọ fún afẹ́ gbà òkè tó bá sọ fún afẹ́ jẹ́ àfẹ́ jẹ́ change of government kọ́ la sọ fún afẹ́ kò kí ṣe change of government là ń béèrè fún o orílẹ̀-èdè la sọ fún afẹ́ gbà ó gbà sùúrù ọ̀dẹ̀ gba ká pé àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àtàwọn yẹn gàgàgàgà síbẹ̀ kájọ ṣe ẹ má jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ kó sú wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jà dákun mo bẹ̀ lórúkọ Ọlọ́run ẹ má jẹ́ ká jà o èdè onímú wa o èdè onímú wa o èdè ayé ìjẹ̀dẹ̀ tiwa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ orúkọ mi ní Sunday Igboho ẹ ṣé.
And a very good afternoon as we back again as usual. It is Monday 21st of November 2022 as we continue to catch up, discuss our so many conversation on the self-determination. My name is OLAMILEKAN and I welcome you all into the conversation. Mo kí gbogbo wa níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń wò wá tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa. A kí ọmọdé, a kí àgbàlagbà, a kí gbogbo àwọn tó ń darí ètò ní gbogbo ibikíbi tí olúkálùkù ti ń darí ẹ̀. A kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará ilé, ẹ má bínú pé a lè catch up láàárọ̀. I wanted to be out in the morning, but Star Radio UK we could not come out. I think Archie is not feeling very well. We hope to be back tomorrow. And I swore I had a lot of other things. So, and I said, let me just catch up now. Kó tó di pé ilẹ̀ á tún máa ṣú. Aago márùn-ún kúkú ti lù. Ọjọ́ náà kì í pẹ́ rárá. Mo kí yín ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ṣẹ́gun Honor for the super chat. And I say good afternoon to those of you that are joining us. As usual, there is a lot to discuss. And we do that all the time. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri ẹ má bínú. I was just catching up with the comment there. I have a lot of screen, so I monitor all my conversation. If I decide to talk about any comment, I will talk. And if I don't want to, I don't have to as well. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ on all the platforms. We have a lot of streaming platforms. We're live on the Instagram on 2 accounts. We're live on Twitter on 2 accounts. Yomex06, which has been one of my very old Twitter accounts. I've been able to revive it back. We are not on TikTok. A lot of people say I should be on TikTok. I'm still working on that. But so far, so good. We are live on 3 Facebook accounts. If these are not my Facebook, whatever you see on any other platform, Tobacco Koiki say is not from me. There is KOIKIMEDIA, which is our official platform. There is KOIKIMEDIA Oduduwa page, which is my official page. There is also KOIKIMEDIA Oduduwa, which is the account that links to the page. There's a YouTube account, one YouTube account, which is KOIKIMEDIA. There's an Instagram account, KOIKIMEDIA and Olayomi Koiki, and we are also on MixLR. For whatever reason, if you're not getting any notification from any of these platforms, it has nothing to do with me. It is probably maybe the algorithm, AI is called. Notification I am live. I don't have a particular time that I will say I'll be live. I might give you an idea where I'm a jadele. I can come out anytime. I am not a blogger. I am a media organization. And the reason why I've left my media, láti fi ṣiṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ Elédùmarè ti Yoruba nation, is not for the I've been known before today. It's not because of the monetary aspect of it. It's because I believe that no other media like the Western media is going to talk about us. Don't tell me to speak in Yoruba. I speak Yoruba when I want to, and I speak English as I want to as well. I am not talking to Yoruba people alone. I am talking to the international community, so I am different. Mo kí gbogbo wa níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa. As I speak to the world, I need to let them know that things will change, and it will change very, very soon. How soon, we will all find out as we continue to tell the world the reason why the Yorubas are saying we don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore. Nigeria was created in 1914, and that is the main reason we are challenging the 1914 amalgamation. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ká lọ sí court, ká lọ challenge ẹ̀ ní court. Ní tá bá lọ sí court, a lè challenge ẹ̀, and all that and all that. It is a good idea, but tá bá lọ sí court, a lè challenge ẹ̀. This is a live broadcast. Please do not call and disturb the conversation. I will not pick the call. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ọ̀nà owó gan lẹ fẹ́ fi gba Yorùbá nation tẹ́ ń pariwo ẹ̀, because election gan fúnra rẹ̀ gan ó ń bọ̀. And I always say, even if an election is coming, and then so what? We have not disturbed them. Àbí ẹ̀rí tá a dá wọn lọ́nà nígbà tí àwọn tó náà wọn fẹ́ election. Àdáyàn kankan lọ́nà náà. Olúkálùkù ní right to self-determination. But kò ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló fẹ́ self-determination. So ibi tí ìyàtọ̀ ti wà láàrin àwa àti àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ election. In tí mo lè sọ ni pé àwa tá a náà fẹ́ self-determination, ọmọ Yorùbá náà ni wá. Àwọn tó dẹ̀ náwọn náà fẹ́ self-determination, ọmọ Yorùbá náà làwọn náà. Ibi tí ìyàtọ̀ ti wà láàrin gbogbo wa náà nìyẹn, because in táwa fẹ́ àwọn náà wọn ò fẹ́. Wọ́n ní táwọn fẹ́ ni pé kó ṣe election 2023 kí wọ́n select or kó elect or kó nominate whoever tó bá wù wọ́n from the political party, which we have them, in Nigeria from the INEC. Wọ́pọ̀ àwọn kan wà proxies ni wọ́n, àwọn kan náà ló created. I'm not gonna go into all that. But one thing is, ìyàtọ̀ tí ó wà láàrin àwa àti àwọn yẹn ni pé àwa náà fẹ́ election mọ́. Pé election tá a ṣe láti 1999 nígbà tá a padà sí democracy, after tí gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn coup oríṣiríṣi ti wáyé, and we are talking about different coups kú oríṣiríṣi ni wọ́n ti ṣe ní Nàìjíríà. Àwa wò pé eléyìí tí a ti ń ṣe bọ̀ láti over 60 years of the independence. Mo wá ní àtàwọn tí a jọ ń ṣe òmìnira Yorùbá, which is the self-determination and the Yoruba nation. Àwọn kan ní Odùduwà Republic, it doesn't matter whatever name you call it, it's still the same thing. Mo kí o gba ìtẹ́wà lórí MixLR àgbàgbé yín, and I'll share the link for the MixLR for the benefit of those. It's just like a radio link. With technology is good. Àwọn kan ló create it, and it can be used to broadcast. It can be used for so many other things, but we use it for broadcasting. And I think, like I was saying earlier, gbogbo ẹni tí ó bá find it difficult pé Koiki ó máa ń wà ká gbọ́ program ẹ̀, but ó dà pé o ti máa ń ṣe tán ká tó gbọ́. A dẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ ní live, a fi lọ wo lórí sister broadcast yín tẹ́ à ń pè ní Wo TV tó máa ń rebroadcast, and I appreciate Wo TV because èmi ti sọ láti 3 years ago pé gbogbo ẹni tó bá lè máa gbé program mi, it is free. Tẹ́ bá lè gbé sórí channel ti yín, ẹ kúkú fún help ìrìn àjò yín ni. That has been my belief since 3 years ago, and I've not changed that. And that is why a lot of people, you don't need to contact me before you use my video. You know, whether you are using it for the positive or the negative, it doesn't make any difference. Whether ètí mo sọ ló ń bí ẹ nínú lo cut níbẹ̀ ló wá ń sọ as a blogger, you have the right, kò sí tó kàn mí. But a dúpẹ́ fún Wo TV. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń wo Koiki lórí Wo TV, live kọ́ lẹ́ ń wò, even tó bá kọ live síbẹ̀, it's no longer live, it is a pre-recorded tèmi ti ṣe làwọn ṣe ń gbé, àfi tó bá gbé tí mò ń gbé simultaneously, which they don't normally do. So they will have to wait for me to finish my program before they can broadcast from their own side. So just for those of you, but tẹ́ bá subscribe sórí the MixLR, I think is a different channel, is a different platform. Kò ń ṣe Facebook lóní, ẹni tó ní Facebook náà ló ní Instagram. In tó dẹ̀ wọ́n lolúkálukú wọ́n ṣe, and since tí kò dẹ̀ ń ṣàwálá ní, tó bá sọ fún yín pé mo wà on náà nìyẹn. Tó bá ní mo wà on náà nìyẹn. But tẹ́ bá lọ sórí MixLR, at least àwọn èèyàn sì jẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ pé mo wà live. Ẹ wá ṣe kí ni, ẹ lè wá fìyẹn kẹ́ fi wọlé sí orí platform tẹ́ ti fẹ́ wò. And I think that explains that. As usual, it is just to catch up. Níbo la dé, níbo la ń lọ, ìrìn àjò yìí. Like I've said 3 years ago, and I'll say it again today. Nigeria is a big elephant. So if anybody is thinking that àwa kan la fẹ́ pa, èèyàn mẹ́rin ló máa pa, èèyàn mẹ́ta ló máa pa, we are all joking. There are many Yorubas around the world. Some of them do not agree with my own line of how to break up Nigeria. So àwọn náà lè decide pé báwọn ṣe fẹ́ break ẹ̀ lélẹ̀. And if it's good for them and it's going to work, it is not a problem. Let them break it. In tó ṣe kókó ni pé àníká ti pín Nigeria, òun ni priority tèmi. So it does not mean that táwọn kan bá break ẹ̀ ní bíbáyìí tó bá yàtọ̀ sí báwa ṣe fẹ́ break ẹ̀, we are probably not saying the same thing. It could just be different. And I want us to be very, very clear on this conversation. My job is a media. And from the media perspective, for somebody that believes that Nigeria should break, and I've not changed my word. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ látọdún mẹ́ta náà ni mo dúró lé. Èmi wá fi extra kún pé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò ní easy bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn o, because interfegba táwọn kan ti jókòó tì lọ́rùn for thousands of years. Ẹ rò pé ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ọ̀rọ̀ 100 years tá à ń sọ ni. Thousands of years people have fought. Wọ́n ti jàjàjà lórí ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, àwọn Europeans àti ṣàlàyé yẹn lánàá nígbà tí FIFA president tó sọ pé ó jẹ́ káwọn òyìnbó máa apologize fún wa ní àbọ̀rọ̀mọ̀ yẹn yín nísìn. So ọ̀rọ̀ pé a fẹ́ pín kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣe tó easy, but a kò gbọ́dọ̀ sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa pé ó máa rọrùn, ó dẹ̀ ṣeé ṣe with fact and evidence. Ọ̀tọ̀ ní ká sọ̀rọ̀, ọ̀tọ̀ ní ká má lè mú ẹ̀rí sí. Ìyẹn ni a ṣe dúpẹ́ fún the kind of technology tó wà lénìí. Kódà tẹ́mi bá sọ tó bá dàbí irọ́, àwọn ọlọ́pọlọ wà láàrin wa tí wọ́n lè lọ gbé yẹ̀ wò pé bọ̀bọ̀ Kóìkì tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé UN ò ní wá pín wa, irọ́ ló ń pa. Màá dẹ̀ tún sọ pé UN ò ní wá pín wa. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń dúró de pé kí United Nations kó wá pín Nàìjíríà, irọ́ blunt lie nìyẹn. But in tí UN lè ṣe ni pé wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan kan wà tó ń pè ní self-determination article 3, United Nations self-determination, and I will bring that up so that we can just have it behind me. What is self-determination? Ìyẹn a very key important aspect of pé a fẹ́ lọ, because tí a bá mọ ìdí tá a ṣe fẹ́ lọ, what we are just going to be doing is akomama parabolate. Àwọn kan wá dàbí ìgbà tó yẹ pé wọ́n ní àmọ́ tá à ń ṣe. Àdèlè wà lẹ́ni níbi tí ìrìn àjò yìí dé ká wá máa sọ pé àmọ́ tá à ń ṣe, nígbà tí àwọn tó jẹ́ ọlọ́gbọ́n tí wọ́n ní òye tí wọ́n mọ bí ìrìn àjò yìí ṣe fẹ́ lọ, they are not doubting the self-determination, but àwọn tó wà nílé expect pé kí mídíà Nàìjíríà kó ṣàlàyé fún yín pé bí ìrìn àjò yìí ṣe máa lọ lélẹ̀, àwọn kọ́ ló máa ṣàlàyé fún ẹ̀yin. Ìyẹn ni àwa ṣe ní tó ń pè ní self-determination media. A kì í ṣe agitator bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń pè pé àwọn agitator yẹn, we are not agitators. We are self-determination media that is challenging the mainstream media tó wà nílé. Nítorí pé mainstream media is not going to tell you the fact that you're expecting. The mainstream media, like I said yesterday when I was actually telling us about Donald Duke, the former governor of Cross River State, he said, and I quote, Bole Kaja ni majority, not every one of them, and I don't want to be misquoted, but almost more than 80% of the Nigerian media are biased. Only 20% of them are probably not biased, but they are scared of the evil government that you have. So, and àwọn Bole Kaja media, kódà ó lè sọ pé Ìgbòho ti wà ní Ìbàdàn báyìí, but ó wá kù sẹ́yìn lọ́wọ́ láti lọ confirm lọ́wọ́ self-determination media àbí irú agbẹnusọ Ìgbòho pé ṣé Ìgbòho ti wà ní Ìbàdàn. A lot of ó rán pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èyí tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa mọ̀ tó ń pè ní technology ti wà débi pé wọ́n lè gbé mi nísìn kọ́ gbé mi bí ṣe wà báyìí bí ṣe ṣe program báyìí kọ́ tún attach ẹ̀ mọ́ nǹkan míì ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ rò pé mi náà ni. That is the beauty of what they call Photoshop. Technology, the technology is so beautiful that ṣe ráwọn phones wáyìí phone tẹ̀ ń wò yìí kò sí àrà tó lè dà. Tó bá tún wá mọ nípa bó ṣe ń cut and paste kò sí nǹkan tó lè ṣe. So ẹlòmíì tó bá wá rí picture Ìgbòho pé wọ́n ní Ìgbòho lọ attend the burial Mama Keredolu tẹ́nìyẹn dẹ̀ believe ẹ mọ̀ pé rẹ nìyẹn wọ́n sì wà 300 ẹ̀yin gan sì wà 300 times behind, because ó yẹ kẹ́ ti mọ̀ pé Ìgbòho tí ó wà ní ibi tó wà ní ibi tó sì wà ó dẹ̀ ń bọ̀ nlé. Ìgbà tó fẹ́ dé yẹn ni àwọn èèyàn ń béèrè pé ìgbà wo gan ló máa dé, because ẹ kàn sọ pé ó ń bọ̀. Èmi sì ń sọ fún yín pé láì tí doubt about it, Ìgbòho ń bọ̀. Kódà rédíò sọ̀rọ̀ ní sọ̀rọ̀ǹgbèsì tó wà ní Nàìjíríà lẹ́nìí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nínú rédíò nípa Ìgbòho a máa play fún wa kódà Dr. Ìgbòho ìyẹn bàbá wa CSI àwọn kan lọ sẹ́ndẹ̀ sí mi èmi àti wọn gbà tí wọ́n á pè wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rẹ́rìn pé àwọn politician rò pé wọ́n ní wálé òun dé ń bọ̀ but in táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ń béèrè ni pé kíní ti ń pẹ́ jù ẹ má jẹ́ kó in tó sọ ní 2 months ago nìyẹn in tẹ́tí sọ nìyẹn but èmi fi ń dá yín lójú pé Ìgbòho fúnra rẹ̀ ń bọ̀ ìyẹn ń ṣe tí a ṣe máa lọ máa dífá máa gbàdúrà lé lórí no ẹ̀yin tẹ̀lé sọ pé kó má wá yẹn ẹ̀yin ní kẹ́ lọ máa bẹ Elédùmarè pé tó bá dé in tó ń torí ẹ̀ bọ̀ lórí ìrìn àjò yìí kọ́lọ̀ kó fún wa ṣe that's all ìyẹn ní kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ́ máa gbàdúrà rè Koiki bá wa sọ fún Ìgbòho kó má wá ó ń bọ̀ ni mo sọ kò ń ṣe pé mo ṣe iyèméjì Ìgbòho fúnra rẹ̀ ń bọ̀ a sì jọ rẹ́rìn lé lórí lọ́sàn-án yìí nígbà tí wọ́n pè mí tí mo ní bá mi àwọn politician àwọn APC àti PDP àti Labour Party wíyàwó ọmọ pé ń bọ̀ ni ìyẹn ni mo tún ṣe sunday mo á mú ẹni tí a bá lọ sórí page ẹlòmíì nísìn ní wà lórí page wa ẹ wá lọ sórí Pilado ìyá kàsẹ́ẹ̀tì àwọn ìyá jágbajàgba wọn nìkan náà wà ní Canada àwọn nonsense people àwọn yẹn lè máa lọ gbọ́ ẹ wá máa wá fẹ́ fi divert àwa ẹ lọ sórí page wa mo tún send the radio information síta pé Ìgbòho fúnra rẹ̀ ń bọ̀ èmi lágbẹnusọ ẹ̀ kò dẹ̀ tí sẹ́lómi ìtẹ́mi bá dẹ̀ sì ń sọ òun ni confam tẹ́ bá gbọ́ lẹ́dọ̀ ẹlòmíì diluted ni because I am still the spokesman for Chief Sunday Igboho and he's coming back home. But one thing is, a lot of people are asking different questions. Baba Koiki, ẹjọ́ la wá fẹ́ declare because àwọn ti rí pé wọ́n ti declare. I have watched the video myself. Tí bá jókòó sí bíbá tí bá sọ pé mo ti wo video yẹn irọ́ ni mò ń pa. Okay? Tí bá jókòó sí bíbá tí mo sọ fún yín pé mo ti gbọ́ pé wọ́n ti declare. I will be telling lies. But all I can say is, we have different people that can do different things at any time, at any day. Èmi ti sọ yẹn ní 3 years ago. So tí wọ́n bá declare Yorùbá nation lẹ́ni, it is good for those declarations. But as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I am aware of, we are still coming out for a super rally that will be announced by one person only, and that is Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. Tí Igboho bá wá sọ pé déètì báyìí la máa jáde, ìjọ báyìí la máa jáde, ìjọ yẹn lèmi máa wá announce. But tí yàn kan bá jáde before that, you have any right láti jáde. Kò sẹ́ni tó ń dìyàn kankan mú. Kò sí ẹnì kankan tó ń di anybody mú. Ìgbòho ló ń dá wa dúró. Ta ló ní kó má jáde? Jáde now. Ta ló ń dé dúró? Èèyàn kan ò dá èèyàn kan tó dúró. Èèyàn kankan ò dá anybody dúró. You have the right. Èmi ti fún yín ní right yẹn ẹ jẹ́ mú jáde kẹ́ lè bá mọ̀ pé any right ó dẹ̀ wà lára ntí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nígbà yẹn ẹ rántí gbà ta lọ register sábẹ́ UNPO. Kí ni UNPO yìí? Bàbá Akíntóyè tó dá kankan mọ̀ ṣé UNPO ló máa but UNPO lè wà níbẹ̀ òun níbẹ̀ nísìn link UNPO nìyẹn tó sọ̀rọ̀ nípa self determination. So the fact that a declaration was made from what I listened to it. I've listened, I think it was in Yoruba and it was also in English and it was in French. As far as I'm concerned, that means pé àwọn yẹn ti ń bá wa pa lọ́nà kan nìyẹn. Adesinduro for the other ones tó fẹ́ pa, which is the one that is coming from Benin Republic, as far as I can say. Because Baba Akintoye ṣì máa sọ fún wa pé a máa jáde, wọ́n máa declare. Ìgbòho sì máa sọ fún wa pé a máa jáde wọ́n máa declare, and that is the message. So ká má fi yẹn tún máa fara wa pé ibo la tún já sí báyìí ọ̀nà wo la no àjá síbi kankan. Nàìjíríà elephant ńlá ni a gbọ́dọ̀ pa from different points. And that's all I can say on that. And will declare, you can go and find out from the channel that you've watched it as well. You don't ask me that. So, because we are not all Koiki boy yẹ kí wọ́n mọ̀ now. Like I said, we have 60 million Yorubas, and àwọn kan wà nísìn ìtàn ṣe wọ́n fi tó wa létí, àwọn kan dẹ̀ wà wọ́n fi tó wa létí. So all I can say is whatever bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe gbọ́ yẹn èmi àti declare ọmọ àti declare náà nìyẹn, wọ́n ti pa níbì kan nìyẹn. So kọ́kọ́ bá wa keep bẹ̀yẹn dáadáa àwọn tó pa yẹn, so that táwa náà máa fi dé alẹ́ ibi tó bá kù sí àpamọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Because one thing is Nigeria is not for us. Ìyẹn ni number one. Ẹni tó bá ń doubt rally yẹn, ẹni tó bá sọ pé òun doubt pé Ìgbòho ń bọ̀, ẹ kó yẹ̀pẹ̀ jẹ. Ẹni tó bá ń doubt pé Chief Dr. Sunday CSI pó ń bọ̀ nílé tí mo dẹ̀ ń sọ pé ń bọ̀, á jẹ́ pé ẹni yẹn á fẹnu ẹ̀ á fi gbolẹ̀. But we have to wait until he comes, and we will still need a lot of materials. That was the message I got again yesterday. We still need a lot of materials. Mo sọ fún yín pé àwọn kan wà bọ́lẹ̀ kájà media bó ṣe wà ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n wà níta náà, wọ́n ń pè wọ́n ní bọ́lẹ̀ kájà media. Ẹ má rò pé gbogbo àwa tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ la fẹ́ jẹ́ ká gba Yorùbá nation. Mo ti sọ yẹn fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀, èmi ti rí yẹn ní 3 years ago. Kò ń ṣe gbogbo mídíà tó ń pariwo pé ká lọ ló fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ lọ. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa fi yẹn sí abẹ́ aṣọ yín. Kò sí bí ẹni náà ṣe lè perfect tó ṣe mọ̀rọ̀ sọ tó, kó gbọ́ Yorùbá kó gbọ́ Ìgbò, kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn. Àwọn kan wà wọ́n ń ṣe Yorùbá nation, but wọ́n wà careful pé ìtẹ́ ń sọ yìí ṣe jẹ́ ká túbọ̀ jẹ́ ká sun díẹ̀ sí, ká ṣàwẹ́nẹ́sì sí, ká lọ báyìí, ká gbé báyìí. Àwa dẹ̀ ń sọ pé lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Bàbá ti sọ̀rọ̀, Ìgbòho ti sọ̀rọ̀, àwọn tó ti sọ̀rọ̀ ti sọ pé inú ọdún yìí náà ni kò ní yàtọ̀. And I don't have to be arguing with any. Mo wo fídíò kan èmi àti wife mi lórí Instagram, màá tẹ̀ ní bẹ́ẹ̀ kó bá mi send the link yẹn. Bàbá yẹn ní I don't argue with stupid people. Ìyẹn wá ní báwo ló ṣe máa sọ̀rọ̀ tó ní argue pẹ̀lú stupid people. At the end of the day, nígbà tí bàbá yẹn fẹ́ máa bá argue, ó ní báwo tẹ̀ ló ṣe sọ́nà, ó ní thank you or something like that. Màá tó bá lè send the link yẹn sí mi, màá play síta, ó wà lórí Instagram. Mo rẹ́rìn yó. So if anybody is doubting me, it's entirely up to you. Mo torí ẹ jókòó sí bíbá. I'm not sitting here because of you. Èmi jókòó síbí, I am speaking to the world, and the world is listening. Wọ́n gbọ́, and they know that we are going to come out for the super rally, because the super rally is to show the world that we are ready. Now let's look at this quickly. I'm talking about these. When I talk about self-determination, mo fẹ́ fi ọkàn yín balẹ̀ pé we are not secessionists, we are not criminals, we are those seeking self-determination to exit Nigeria. How? We will exit peacefully, or it will be whatever it is. Woro sí woro, àdúgbò sádúgbò, ìkànnì méjèèjì ni. So let's read about self-determination. Èmi kọ́ mo kọ ilé yìí. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ nígbà yẹn pé UNPO owó lọ́lọ́kọ́ wa lọ yìí, UNPO owó blah blah blah. At least the UNPO wrote this in 2017. Wọ́n ti kọ ilé yìí síta ní 2017. Kátẹ̀ tó di pé àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìn àjò yìí ní 2019 nígbà tí wọ́n lọ register YWC under UNPO. Àwọn kan ní ẹgbẹ́ wo nìyẹn? Iṣẹ́ ò lẹ́gbẹ́ yẹn máa ṣe. At the end of the day, ẹgbẹ́ yẹn náà lélẹ̀. Let's read this together. Self-determination, and the UNPO stand for Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization. Organization ni lóòótọ́, but àwọn náà nípa tó ń kó. Wọ́n dẹ̀ fi tó wa létí pé kí ni self-determination? All people have the right to self-determination, whether you are a Biafra, Arewa, whether you are any of the 374 ethnic groups that we have in what is known as Nigeria today. By virtue of that right, they are freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. UNPO, they have a lot of members. I want to know what a lot of members here. I don't want to go into that yet. Indigenous peoples, Emma Farabalebo, minorities. I won't say minority, majority ni wá, but àwọn minority Fulani ti wá, what ti take over. Nítorí pé àwọn politicians wa wọ́n ti kó wa sábẹ́ Fulani tó jẹ́ minority. Ọmọ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ majority ti wá di minority. Unrecognized state and occupied territories that have joined together to promote their right to self-determination while also defending their political, social, cultural rights and preserving their environment. Wọ́n wá ń bèrè pé what is self-determination? Kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀ gangan? Tá bá sọ pé self-determination, what does it mean? To an average layman like me, because gbogbo wa ni average person. Ẹ má rò pé gbogbo àwa tá à ń sọ òyìnbó yìí la gbọ́ kúrú tutù. Bí wọn náà ṣe gbọ́ lèmi náà ṣe gbọ́. But kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní self-determination? Essentially, the right to self-determination is the right of a people to determine its own destiny. Kí ló ń pè ní destiny? Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ sáré lọ wá ìtàn, because destiny wa nísìnyí ẹ̀yin ọmọ APC, ẹ̀yin ọmọ PDP, ẹ̀yin ọmọ Labour Party, ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ ká kó destiny wa ká lọ kó lé àwọn 419 political party lọ́wọ́. Kí ló ń pè ní destiny? Destiny. The event that will necessarily happen to a particular person or group of people or thing in the future. Ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ ká fi destiny wa ká lọ gbélé APC lọ́wọ́ fún ọdún mẹ́jọ. Ẹ̀rí pé try gan. Ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ ká gbé destiny wa ká gbélé PDP lọ́wọ́ for the next 8 years. Ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ ká gbé destiny wa ká lọ gbélé Labour Party lọ́wọ́ for 8 years. So tá bá sọ pé kí ni meaning?
Destiny.
Let's look at it again here. What is the true meaning of destiny? Because according to UNPO, only the right to self-determination, mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ wo bẹ́yẹn. The right to self-determination pé ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ fún ìgbàlà kò ń ṣe ìgbàlà pé wá gba Jésù. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni kó gba Jésù, ọ̀tọ̀ ni kó kírun wákàtí 5, ọ̀tọ̀ ni kó jọ́níṣẹ̀ṣe. Àníṣe destiny pé ayé ọmọ Yorùbá là ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́sìn. Bí àfáà kan bá ń criticize Yorùbá nation kò tí ì ní ìmọ̀ débi tí ó mọ̀ pé destiny wa kò sí lábẹ́ mùsùlùmí, kò sí lábẹ́ kìrìsìtẹ́nì, kò dẹ̀ sí lábẹ́ ìṣẹ̀ṣe. Destiny mi ni pé mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí. I don't have to be a Yoruba Muslim, I don't have to be a Yoruba Christian, and I don't have to be a Yoruba oníṣẹ̀ṣe. But the first thing is my destiny must be recognized. And that is something that we cannot joke with. So gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá ń sọ pé Koiki Yorùbá nation yìí àwọn àfáà wọ́n criticize ẹ̀ because àfáà yẹn ò ní làákàyè. Because tá àfáà yẹn bá ní làákàyè ni a mọ̀ pé destiny mi kò sí ní abẹ́, a mọ̀ pé destiny mi kò sí ní abẹ́ Islam. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni Islam, ọ̀tọ̀ ni Islam, ọ̀tọ̀ ni. Ẹ má bínú, I'm losing a bit of concentration because it's a family call. Mo wà lórí program, mo ti ń pè padà. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Mo wà lórí live show. Okay.
Let's go!
bínú ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ẹ̀yin náà lẹ ní family come first and that was urgent. I need to pick it up. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. A kí ọmọdé, a kí àgbàlagbà, a kí arúgbó, a kí omidan. Mo kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti èyí tó ń ṣe Yorùbá nation àti tó ń ṣe Yorùbá nation. Yorùbá nation kò kí ń ṣe pé mùsùlùmí ni mí, kò sí tó kàn mí pẹ̀lú yẹn. Kristẹni ni mí, no. Oníṣẹ̀ṣe ni mí, no. Destiny mi pé wọ́n kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ recognize mi pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí lágbàáyé. Ìyẹn ni first priority mi. Ìyẹn ni ìjà mi lákọ̀ọ́kọ́. Kóìkì múlàlá kan sọ̀rọ̀ kan níbi kíní kan mi pẹ̀lú múlàlá tó ń sọ̀rọ̀. I don't have any problem with that múlàlá. Múlàlá yẹn ò understand pé destiny la kọ́kọ́ láti jà fún. A kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ lé destiny wa náà. Destiny wa kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ secure. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń ṣẹ̀sìn tẹ́ẹ̀lì ní from point A to B. Ìwọ tó ń kírun wákàtí 5 tó ń jí gbé ní láàrin ojú ẹlẹ́gbàá ń bẹ̀ gan ló ti ń jí gbé. Ìwọ tó jẹ́ mùsùlùmí tó jẹ́ christian tọ́lọ́pàá ń disrespect ẹ. Ó tí ní destiny. Destiny ò ń ṣe pé ẹ wá gba ìgbàlà no ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ó yàtọ̀ síra wọn. Ẹ jẹ́ kó máa yé wa dáadáa. So let's go back into the conversation. Once again, a very good evening. You are watching a live transmission. Monday, 21st of November, 2022. Is time now is 5:26 p.m. on my clock here from London. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa destiny lọ. Destiny ò ń ṣe pé mo bá kírun wákàtí 5. No. Destiny kọ́kọ́ máa sọ pé èmi Ọláyọmí Kóìkì ọmọ Yorùbá nation. Mo ní passport Yorùbá nation. Inú Yorùbá nation ni mò ń gbé. Kò ń ṣe pé èmi Ọláyọmí Kóìkì muslim bàbá mi muslim ìyá mi christian bàbá mi muslim ìyá mi muslim wọ́n bí mi sínú ẹ̀sìn mo wá like christian mo like oníṣẹ̀ṣe bọ̀ wá fẹ́ Yorùbá no ó yàtọ̀ síra wọn. ẹ jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ lé destiny wa náà. Àwa ń fẹ́ mọ̀ lọ́wọ́ Google pé kí ló ń pè ní destiny àti pé báwo la ṣe fẹ́ wò pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation yìí ṣé destiny wa là ń sáré fún ni àbí ká tún lọ fáwọn kan láyè kan lọ dìbò 2023 because Tinubu èmi ti sọ yẹn Tinubu Àtíkù àti Òbí àti Ṣòwòrẹ́ gbogbo wa ò ní wà níbí báyìí for the next 1000 years. So gbogbo eré tí Tinubu ń sá gbogbo eré táwọn tí wọ́n ní ká lọ dìbò fún Tinubu eré tó ń sá eré yín kàríkà chop ìtẹ́fẹ́ jẹ nísìn nìkan ni èmi ń wo ọjọ́ ọ̀la lèmi ń wò mo ti sọ yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀ rí. So let's go back to what is the meaning of destiny. Destiny involves what is going to happen, what has happened, what is meant to be. Ẹ̀wọ̀rọ̀ mẹ́ta tó fi sọ. What is going to happen in tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. What has happened in tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀. What is meant to be in tó gbọ́dọ̀ bí tó gbọ́dọ̀ dàbí. It is a certain future. Is said to be someone's destiny. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ lálùbáríkà ó lè lárùbáríkà nínú ìlú tí kò sí destiny fún ẹ. Ẹ lọ kírun òkí wákàtí 5 ó wá kí gbogbo ẹ̀ títí ó wá wà nù Nàìjíríà wọ́n wá ń fi ṣe statistics lágbàáyé. Nigeria has now 130 million people that are in abject poverty. You cannot walk from point A to B. Bó ṣe ń jíyàn gbé níbí lọ́n jíyàn gbé lọ́hùn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìyá wa Janet Mati ẹ̀krọ́ lẹ́mà mo kí Bashir Mustapha. Politicians don't care about destiny. Wọ́n kí ẹ̀ lọ́n fi ọmọdé lọ́ fi ń ṣẹ́ṣó lọ́n fàgbàlagbà lọ́ fi ń ṣẹ́ṣó. Ṣé àwọn yẹn ní destiny ni? Àwa ń sọ̀rọ̀ destiny kò ń ṣe tí politicians sọ là ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀. So nísìnyí tá a ti wá mọ meaning destiny, let's now go back to again what is self-determination. Nígbà tí mo ti ṣàlàyé destiny fún yín àti link ẹ̀ padà pẹ̀lú pé a fẹ́ dúró destiny ò ń ṣe pé yẹn mo máa kí wákàtí 5. Àkọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ survive bẹ́ẹ̀ ni you're right. We Yoruba must work to survive first before we care about religion. Ìwọ tó ń ṣẹ̀sìn tí Saudi Arabia recognize ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí ibi tó ti ń ṣe ẹ̀sìn tó jẹ́ pé north ni wọ́n recognize àṣẹ kọ́kọ́ gba Yorùbá nation ká wá ṣẹ̀ máa sọ fún Saudi pé ìlú làwa náà ẹ bá wa mọ̀ pé àwa náà ń ṣẹ̀sìn níbí. Ó lọ Jerusalem wọ́n recognize ẹ ìṣẹ̀ṣe wọ́n recognize ẹ ó kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ survive náà kó tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn. Ìwọ tó ò jẹun kánú òun sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn. So let's go back. Essentially, the right to self-determination, let me just highlight it. Essentially, the right to self-determination is the right of a people to determine its own destiny. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, the right to self-determination is the right of gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá láti determine ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa. Mo sọ, àwọn kan ti ta ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa, àwa la gbọ́dọ̀ gbà padà kúrò lọ́wọ́ wọn. Báyìí ṣe lè gbà ní pé nígbà tó bá ti pè kéde pé ká jáde fún super rally, a gbọ́dọ̀ jáde. Mùsùlùmí ni mí, kò tọ́ sọ́nà, irọ́ ni, o kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ jáde láti kọ́kọ́ lé destiny ẹ. And that is the most important thing. The exercise of this right can result in variety of different outcomes, ranging from political independence through to full integration within a state. The importance lies in the right of choice, so that the outcome of people's choice should not affect the existence of the right to make the choice. Choice tó ń sọ kò ń ṣe pé choice pé mo wà nínú Nàìjíríà nísìn ká lọ dìbò fún any of our political choice, and that is what the British government is advising. Let me show you that. The British government, according to what I pick up today, only táwọn politician yìí, if I want to find out quickly, I saw something wọ́n yìí má gbà Macron létí gbogbo gbà ló ń gbà wọn létí ń tiẹ̀. Mo fẹ́ lọ sọ tí British sọ fún yín ni o. So if you are thinking that the British is coming to do anything to rescue you, I saw it somewhere this morning. Anyway, I'll find out later and I'll come back to that. But British was saying that and táwọn politician bá ṣàṣẹ okay náà pa after woman tó gbé gbòyìn ni bí àná dẹ̀ ni okay, I think it's somewhere around there I saw it. Ulele, according to Sahara Reporter, UK threatens to punish Nigerian politicians involved in electoral violence in 2023. I don't think UK understand that we are not going to hold election in Southwest. Maybe in the North, but I know that the Biafrans are not also going to hold election. And forget about all these afẹ́fẹ́ don't share one campaign. They have the right to do so. Nobody's stopping them. But we have the right to self-determination as well. And that is something I want to... So, UK threatens to punish Nigerian politicians. That is what the UK can do for you. So, now let's go more into it. And I'm going to read now without any interruption. In practice, however, the possible outcome of an exercise of self-determination will often determine the attitude of government towards the actual claim by the people or nation. Thus, while claims to cultural autonomy may be more readily recognized by state, claims to independence are more likely to be rejected by them. Nevertheless, the right to self-determination is recognized in international law as a right of process, not of outcome, belonging to peoples and not to the state or government. The preferred outcome of an exercise of the right to self-determination varies greatly among the members of UNPO. For some of our members, the only acceptable outcome is a full political independence. This is particularly true of occupied or colonized nations. For others, the goal is a decree of political, cultural, economic autonomy, sometimes in the form of federal relations. For others, yet, the right to live on and manage a people's tradition, lands free of external interference and inclusion, is the essential aim of a struggle for self-determination. Other members such as Taiwan and Somaliland have already achieved a high level of full self-determination but are yet to be recognized as an independent state by international community. Mo fẹ́ ká wo bíbá dáadáa, and I want to talk about these two countries, okay? Wọ́n ní ìlú méjì kan wà lágbàáyé lẹ́nìí. One of them is Taiwan, and the other one is also known as Somaliland. Even though pé ìlú méjèèjì have already achieved high level or full self-determination, ọ̀nà méjì ló pín sí. Wọ́n pín sí high level, that means pé wọ́n ti ń bá àwọn olóríṣiríṣi ṣe lágbàáyé. Ìkejì, wọ́n ti dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìlú, àmọ́ wọ́n ti recognize wọn as an independent state by international community. So ta ló wá sọ pé tí Yorùbá náà bá dá dúró wọn ò ní recognize yín? Àwa kọ́ ni wọ́n máa kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ pé wọ́n ò ní recognize. And let's talk about these two. But before we talk about those two, mo kàn fẹ́ ka kíní ìdélẹ̀ ìyẹn self-determination kíní tí mo ń ka yìí. And I'll share that link with you. It's on the UNPO, but I'll share the link for the benefit of anybody that wants to also have it. Okay? I'm going to come back to Taiwan and Somaliland. And I want us to take note that Taiwan today and Somaliland, ìlú méjèèjì yìí, they have self-determination. Táwa náà ń sọ pé a fẹ́, àwọn tí ní ó ti tójọ́ mẹ́ta, okay? Wọ́n ní self-determination, but wọ́n ì tí ní recognition tí wọ́n fẹ́. So they are not recognized yet by some countries, but some countries recognize them. And I want us to take note of that. Because the fear ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá àti àwọn tí wọ́n ń wo ìrìn àjò yìí pé tí ẹ bá lọ ní ẹ fẹ́ dá dúró, ṣé Amẹ́ríkà máa recognize yín? Kò ń ṣe dandan. Ṣé ìlú kan máa recognize yín? Kò ń ṣe dandan, because àwa kọ́ la máa kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ ìlú tí wọ́n ti recognize. I think this is Ọmọlúkà, if I'm right. Ọmọjọwọ́ Ọmọníyì Victor. What I'm putting on it, Ọmọlúkà. I think that's you. Yeah, Muriembe, Ọmọlúkà, Crowley. Yeah, that's you. 1 minute ago. God bless Yoruba nation. Lágbára Ọlọ́run. So mo fẹ́ kẹ́ máa bá mi ká lọ. Yes, mo ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà. Mo ti rí pé kò sẹ́ni kankan tó gbọ́dọ̀ lo logo ẹ̀. Báwo ni ṣàlàfíà lẹ́wà? Gbogbo àwọn ará àkókò ń kọ́ ń bẹ̀. Ẹ padà ṣe rally ti Ìdànrè mọ́ ni kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Ẹnu à sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn aṣọ. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Mo fẹ́ yẹ kí ẹ máa bá mi lọ lórí ibi tí a fẹ́ lò nírọ̀lẹ́. Mo prepare eléyìí tẹ́lẹ̀, but nítorí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ sì ń bẹ̀rù the fear pé ẹ̀yin tí ẹ jókòó sá abroad tí wá ṣèbọn Ọmọlúkà tẹ wà nílé òun dẹ̀ ń pariwo, but èmi tẹ́mi wà níta èmi ò wálé. Kóìkì má ti ẹsẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn bọ́ ṣọ̀kọ̀lò. Èmi fi ń dá yín lójú pé ìlú méjì kan wà wọ́n pè ní Taiwan àti Somaliland. Wọ́n ní high level of interaction pẹ̀lú ìlú oríṣiríṣi àgbáyé, but as of today China ò recognize Taiwan. Ìyẹn ni ìjà tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin Peliso tó lọ sí Taiwan for the first time, an American high level delegate. Kódà ariwo yẹn pọ̀ gan, but because àwọn ò kí ń listen sí a lot of these international conversation. Ọmọlúkà má kọ Yorùbá púpọ̀ òjò ọmọ pé Yorùbá tèmi ò dábí. Ok, ìyá wa ló ń kọ Yorùbá mẹ́ẹ̀. Tí wọ́n bá recognize wa, ok, tí wọ́n bá recognize wa, wá bá ti bí ti ẹ má kí n tàbọn iṣẹ́ ara filẹ̀. Ọmọlúkà ló gbọ́ Yorùbá dáadáa, èmi ò gbọ́ Yorùbá tẹ́ máa kọ yẹn. Ẹ bá mi kọ́ ní English, ẹ má bínú. So I'm gonna come back to that. So mo fẹ́ kó wà ní inú medulla oblongata wa pé tó máa ní Kóìkì sọ. So tí àwa náà bá dá dúró, tí UK bá náà wọ́n recognize wa, ìyẹn wá ní káyé parẹ́. Ayé ò lè parẹ́. Ayé máa continue ni. Ayé ò dẹ̀ ń dúró déèyàn kan. Ayé máa parẹ́ yẹn. Mọ́mísì tèmi sọ fún mi pé èèyàn inú ẹ̀ ló máa parẹ́. Ayé kankan ì tí parẹ́. So ká ṣayé dáadáa ká tó lọ, òun lè rí tà ń sá nísìn. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ń dúró pé Kóìkì ewu ni wọ́n tún já sí nǹkan mi láàrò kó máa wá sọ. Like I said, a ní right kódà anybody ní right lálẹ́ yìí láti ṣe anything a ṣe ń dúró dé àwọn kan no o ní right kódà ìwọ náà ní right láti decide anything lórí ìrìn àjò yìí as long as it's a genuine cause èmi ti sọ yẹn 3 years ago so pé a máa gbọ́ pé wọ́n declare lẹ́nìí kí ló wá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ìyẹn lára rò pé ó máa sọ ìtẹ́mi fẹ́ sọ lèmi sọ yìí because a sì gbọ́dọ̀ fáwọn èèyàn wa ní the inside knowledge so tó bá jẹ́ pé yẹn lẹ wá jókòó síbi ẹ̀ lẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ ẹ̀ ń waste time ara yín because as far as I'm concerned like I say anybody has a right to self-determination tó bá dẹ̀ ti ní right that means pé as long as ti right yẹn bá ti wà in line pẹ̀lú nǹkan tí ìwọ náà sọ pé a fẹ́ ṣe that's all ìtẹ́mi sọ nísìnyí pé ká lọ àwọn kan ní ká lọ ní 2023 mo ní lọ àgbà a máa lọ nínú ọdún yìí àwọn kan ní ká declare nísìn ní no problem àwọn kan ní ká má ti declare nísìn ká jẹ́ kó túbọ̀ jẹ́ kó ṣe díẹ̀ ìkan náà ní gbogbo ẹ̀ elephant ni àtẹ̀lé mi mú bòbí àwa wá slow ni o bí à slow ni o inú ọdún yìí náà ni and I'm gonna play the video of Baba Akintoye later. I think this was with our brother in Ghana and I picked up a lot of points from there but we'll come back to that later. Once again a very good evening. This is a live broadcast. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni tí UK ò bá rẹ kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yíyàrí Adémọ́lá Israel tí UK ọ̀gá if UK don't recognize us ayé ò parẹ́ náà so kí la wá ń bẹ̀rù fún ìyẹn la gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe listen sí àwọn tọ́mání ẹ a gbọ́dọ̀ go through all the diplomatic routes. ẹ má bínú ẹ mọ̀ pé tó bá ti di ọ̀rọ̀ family there will always be this distraction. mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Once again, a very good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching the broadcast. So let's continue. We'll come back to Taiwan so that I don't spend too much time on that. So now, wọ́n wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa self-determination in international law. Kí ni òfin àgbáyé tẹ̀ ń sọ lórí ẹ̀? Let me say this. Òfin àgbáyé ò lè perfect. A gbọ́dọ̀ dúró de òfin àgbáyé wo? Ṣé àgbáyé ò rí ohun àtàwọn òyìnbó wá kó wa lẹ́rú láti ṣe nǹkan sí? So we will go according to our own law to declare ourselves out of the contraction Nigeria, but we must also remember that we will be coming out for a super rally. A gbọ́dọ̀ get it right. Ṣe ti kọ lẹ́tà àwọn kan ní ká gbé UK lọ sí court ká tó máa lọ máa waste £10,000 20,000 gbà tí Dr. Bashegun tó ní a máa gbé wọn lọ sí court táwọn wá owó àròwó yẹn so better owó tá a bá ní nísìn àwọn ọmọ mi tó wà nílé wọ́n ní di oríṣiríṣi bó ṣe ní di ink wọ́n ní di dis ó ti yá àwọn tó wóye ká má fi gbogbo ẹnu sọ̀rọ̀ owó tá a bá rí nísìn ká lọ máa ra ink kalẹ̀ ká lọ tọ́jú ẹ̀ pamọ́ torí pé àwọn báírò yìí nísìn tí èèyàn bá ní báírò tí ink inú ẹ̀ bá tán nísìn màá tún náà nọ́dá báírò àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ ní di báírò wọ́n dẹ̀ ní di ink láti wà nínú ẹ̀ ìyẹn ni ká lọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí ẹ̀ tó bá yé lóye á bí mi pé kí ni mò ń sọ àwọn ọmọ wà nílé nísìn tán ní ìdí ẹ̀ tó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ àrí báírò fún wọn. The principle of self-determination ibi báyìí ni mò ń kà lọ màá highlight ẹ̀ à ń kà nípa international law mo ò ká bíbá rí so it's good for me to also learn one or two things but I've read a lot of things but this is coming from UNPO and UNPO dẹ̀ la lọ register sí gbogbo alárántí in tó gbé wa dìde nìyẹn in tó mú wa tẹ̀lé Bàbá Akíntóyè nìyẹn a dẹ̀ sì gbà fún wọn títí dè ní tí ò séyè méjì there's no doubt in my mind about him. It doesn't matter what anybody is saying. We still believe in him and we trust him just as we trust all other leaders as well. Self-determination in international law. The principle of self-determination is prominently embodied in Article 1 of the Charter of the United Nations. Earlier, it was explicitly embraced by the United States President Woodrow Wilson, by Lenin and others, and became the guiding principle for the reconstruction of Europe following World War I. The principle was incorporated into the 1941 Atlantic Chapter and the Dumbarton Oaks proposal, which evolved into United Nations Chapter. Its inclusion in the United Nations Chapter marks the universal recognition of the principle as fundamental to the maintenance of friendly relations and peace among states. It is recognized as a right of all people and the Yorubas, the Biafrans, the Arewas, and those that want to be free from the contraction of the 1914 amalgamation. In the first article, common to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and International Covenant on Economic, Social, Cultural Rights, which both enter into force in 1976, 2 years before I was born. Paragraph 1 of this article provides. Mo rò pé ibi bá yé gbogbo wa màá ṣàlàyé díẹ̀ fún yín nínú ẹ̀. Ṣe rí in tó ń try láti sọ níbí báyìí kákọ̀ ìtorí àwọn òyìnbó yẹn ó tóbi lẹ́nu tèmi náà, àwọn òyìnbó kẹ́ gẹ̀gẹ̀gẹ̀gẹ̀gẹ̀ báyìí ni. In tó kàn sọ ni pé òfin àgbáyé nígbà tó parí ogun World War I, àwọn kan ní Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká rógun World War III because kíní ò fẹ́ gbà, Russia náà wọ́n ní gbà. Ẹni tó bá mọ̀ oríṣiríṣi bọ́ǹbù tí Timor rírí ni Russia move káàkiri nísìn. Wọ́n ní àwọn submarine kan tó ti wà lábẹ́ omi nísìn. Tí Amẹ́ríkà, èmi ò gbèjà anybody, tí Amẹ́ríkà bá dún pẹ́n, Russia máa yin nuclear weapon jáde. So ìyẹn làwọn yẹn ti sọ pé Ọlọ́run má jà rógun World War III. But that's a different conversation for another day. So it was after World War I tí wọ́n parí ogun World War I. Gbogbo àwọn ogun iná lọ lo ọmọ Yorùbá lọ jà o, ìyẹn àwọn Britain. World War II wọ́n kó àwọn bàbá wa oríṣiríṣi, wọ́n san pension fún wọn dọ́là. Ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ mọ̀ pé bàbá ẹ̀ jà ogun World War II, World War I on behalf of the British government. On behalf of, because àwọn náà ń control wa níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. So wọ́n kàn kó àwọn èèyàn sínú àmì ni. Tó bá ti kọ́ ẹ sínú bẹ̀, wọ́n kọ́ ẹ bọ́ ṣe ń yìnbọn. Òmọ́jà wọ́n kọ́ ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ nìyẹn, ó di ẹran sofe nìyẹn, sofe. Let's continue. All peoples have the right. What to say again? All people. Tó bá ní people, ìyẹn lèmi àtẹ̀yìn. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí àwọn politician bully yín. Mo sọ fún yín pé bọ́lẹ̀ kájà ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ media 80% tó wà ní Nigeria. So if you're expecting, them to come and explain your right to you, ìwọ tó tẹ̀ mọ̀ pé 1999 constitution kan tó fún yín is fake. So you don't know your right. But self-determination is our right. I want to only máa sọ pé we are going all hail Biafra to our brothers and sisters. Tonight, our brother Simon Ekpa will be live at 8 o'clock and we will be broadcasting that. And for those that keep wondering, this alliance, like I said, whether you agree with it or not, let us move on with that. So we are now still talking about the right of the people. And it's not about the Yoruba people, even the Arewa people, and even the Biafrans. And there's a difference between IPOB and Biafrans. Biafrans are the people that Wole Soyinka was talking about. If some of you do not understand, this government thinks that they can wipe off the memories of the, we will come back to that before I finish. You cannot wipe off the memories of the Biafra war. Ogun Biafra, lè gbàgbé ẹ̀. So if the government thought by removing history, only returning it back in 2019. So throughout the time that I was in secondary school, there was nothing called history. Shit old country. I left secondary school in 1998. History came back in 2019, sorry. I left school in 1998 and history returned back in 2019. How many years after Temi Tijade? Shit old country. So if you think that you can wipe up the memories of, that's why the Biafrans are angry. They can be angry with us, we can be angry with them. Whatever happened in the past, we cannot forget it, but we must move on quickly so that we don't say, I want Biafra, can we trust them? I was in a meeting yesterday and I told them that even if we don't trust them, do we trust ourselves as well? That's the question. We'll come back to that. I still want to focus more on the UNPO talking about self-determination. So he's going back again and again, reminding us of the right. Ẹ̀tọ́ ló ń pè ní right. Ó kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ pé ẹ̀tọ́ ni tá à ń jà fún. O lè wá decide pé ìwọ ò fẹ́ lọ ní ìlànà táwa kan ń lọ kò mátà. Ìwọ náà lè lọ ní different dimension. Nigeria is big. Everybody can go in different dimension as long as we want to bring it down and we don't have any hidden agenda to now say, taba bring it down. Àwa lọ gbé Tinubu wá, àwa lọ gbé yàn kan wá, kó wá. No. It has to be now level playing field that everybody ọmọ ẹlẹ́ran lè decide pé òun fẹ́ contest kò ní láti lọ bá godfather kankan, and that has been what has been happening in that shito country. mo rí ń bẹ̀ yá mi ọmọlára àjàlá ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò, and the rest of you African Confidential. Let's continue quickly. Take note as we go along. The right to self-determination of peoples, they keep going back again and again. The right of self-determination, ẹ̀tọ́ gbogbo Biafra, ẹ̀tọ́ gbogbo ọmọ Arewa, and the remaining 300 and whatever ethnic group that the British locked together, put us in together, and then asking us to be known as Nigeria. That is what we want to de-amalgamate, and it has to be done as quickly, as swiftly, and as smooth should the federal government want that. And if they don't want that, we will need a lot of biro and ink. Ijalumadi. It's as simple as that. If anybody thinks that by coming out, you know, Moki Yawa Grace, Moki Bobayintawa, GR1, if anybody thinks that by coming out and then say, Akamak Bani, it's good to think like that. I love it as well. But we must remember that Britain and the rest of the world fought for what we are enjoying today. We must also be prepared to fight, to defend the destiny of the next generation and myself. The right to self-determination of peoples is recognized in many other international and regional instruments, including the Declaration of Principles of International Law concerning friendly relations and cooperation among states, adopted the United Nations General Assembly in 1970. The Helsinki Final Act adopted by the Conference on Security and Cooperation in Europe in 1975. Third, the African Chapter of Human and People's Rights of 1981. The African Union that you are thinking, I was reading a little bit about the African Union. You can see there, close laptop mi láti be almost gbogbo time tí mo fi wà ìwé yẹn. And I was thinking that why is it that the African Union were delayed in talking about our right to self-determination, because most of them are criminals. So if you are thinking that one African country would just accept you to become a nation, you are fooling yourself, because every single one of these African countries, probably maybe some few of them, are criminals that do not want you to have the right to self-determination. And this is the evidence, because I was able to do some background research on that. Self-determination in the case of the African Commission lesson for Europe. Why Europe was giving us our right, do you know that Africa were not giving us our right up to 1981? So gbogbo ẹni tó bá rò pé ká lọ bá African country kan ló máa fún wa láyè, you are wasting your time. And this is all the evidence I was reading. Gbogbo kìíní tí mò ń kà lélẹ̀, but I will come back to that at some point later on. Ìyẹn mo ṣe close it, even though pé mo ti bookmark gbogbo kìíní. This is why I said I am not a Bolekaja media. I take my time, I read, I take notes. Internet is good. So you can see that for the last 1 week that I was away, I was also doing some bit of research. So that if I was sọ̀rọ̀, màmá tí mo sọ, so if anybody bá wá sọ fún mi pé Koiki ọmọ tó ń sọ, bóyá àwọn ìyá cassette, àbí àwọn pilado, àwọn blogger, èmi ò ń ṣe blogger. I am not a blogger, I am a media, and I take my time to research and read. So that's why I said, with my media, we can pull these alone. I'm not people that just go and sit down, they just copy and paste. Let's come back again. So now, Koda African Chapter of Human Rights, People's Rights, right ìtàn sọ pé àfẹ́ àwọn African countries ò já ká ní right yẹn until 1981 ni wọ́n bí kan náà àwọn àbúrò wa. Ẹ wò gbà tí àwọn òyìnbó ti fún wọn ní right, ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ sọ̀gbà táwọn ti fún wa ní right. Ẹ mọ̀ pé máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa 1514 resolution. Ẹ wá compare 1514 resolution tí wọ́n fún wa ní 1960 compare sí inter-African countries ṣe wọ́n sọ pé ó yẹ ẹgbẹ̀tọ́ yín ẹ yẹ ká fún yín ní right. Because the African countries that you all are thinking that is going to help you, Nigerian government have a powerful say in African Union today. And everybody knows that. So we should not use African countries that they will support us. Àwa la máa support ara wa and come out. And this is why I said, ẹ wo date tí àwọn òyìnbó táwọn fún wa ní right. And I was saying it, I think on Sunday, that we have countries that did not support these. 9 countries refused. Ẹ rántí pa dárúkọ àwọn countries yẹn. There was 9 countries that refused to give us. They were absent, rather. They were absent. So mo kàn fẹ́ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní idea yẹn pé in 1960 was when the United Nations Resolution 1514 òun lélẹ̀ declaration on the granting òun ni mo print jáde tí máa ń nà síta all the time. Declaration ó wà lórí website wa. If you want to go and download it, it's there, koikimedia.com. Yoruba document files. You can go on Google and download it yourself and keep it. But one thing is, kí ló dé tó pẹ́ tí African Union did not give us that same right. It's a different conversation for another day. Now, as we continue, the CSCE chapter of Paris for the New Europe adopted in 1990. Number 5, the Vienna Declaration and Programming of Action of 1993. It has been affirmed by the International Court of Justice in Namibia case. The Western Sahara, how many people know the Western Sahara, as at right now, is still fighting to become a country? And now let me show you that quickly. Western Sahara is called. Briefly, Western Sahara is a disputed territory on the northwest coast in the Maghreb region of the North and the West Africa. About 20% of the territory is controlled by self-proclaimed Sahrawi Arab Democrat Republic, while the remaining 80% of the territory is occupied and administered by the neighboring Morocco. Morocco ti chance Western Sahara won't control 80% of their territory. Ìyẹn la ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ get it right. Tí a bá lọ sọ pé a gba Yorùbá nation, tí Fúlàní bá tún lọ ń gba mọ́ nínú territory wa, is going to be a problem. Just as they take away or they took away Kimalotabon, what's it called? Ìlọrin from us. Gbogbo wa la mọ̀ story yẹn. I don't have to go into the details. 1975 was when Western Sahara was also formed. 14th of November, just about almost 5 days ago. And they have been fighting for their, for their own full independence. And conversation continue between the two of them. There has been a lot of conversation. If you want to go and read about that, I haven't got the time to go into all the details. But there's a country called Western Sahara. Western Sahara dispute. This is Morocco World News. Let's hope it opened quickly. Once again, a very good evening. This is almost 6 o'clock, and it is a live transmission on KOIKIMEDIA as we continue to educate our people and tell you the reason why self-determination is not a crime. They can tell you anything nonsense, it doesn't make any difference. So, Eric by listen, according to this headline, Turkish ambassador, Western Sahara dispute is purely artificial. Let me just read that quickly, according to what we have here. The Turkish diplomat stressed that his country is ready to facilitate dialogue between Morocco, Algeria to overcome the diplomatic crisis, emphasizing the importance of bilateral cooperation. Rabat Turkey ambassador to Morocco, Omar Farouk Donga, unveiled his country's support for Morocco territory integrity, describing the Western Sahara dispute as purely artificial. Dogan made this remark during a recent interview, emphasizing the importance of diplomatic ties between Morocco and Turkey. So, between us and the rest of the other countries at the appropriate time. So let us continue from where we stop. They talk about East Timor. East Timor. How many people remember East Timor? I talk about East Timor. I can give you just a quick, brief quickly, not too much. East Timor got their independence in 2002. 20 years after its vote for independence. Kí ló fà á tí United Nations fi lọ fún wọn ní referendum is because there was violence for more than almost 2 or 3 decades. 1975 ni East Timor declare independence wọn bó ṣe declare báyìí kò tó 2 weeks after that the Indonesian government military came back and there was a fight and they fought each other. Wọ́n bára wọn jà, wọ́n para wọn. Over 102,000 people died between 1975 and 2002. You can go and check the record. So téèyàn kan bá ní wọ́n kàn máa pa gbogbo ìdànù ní illiterate person ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìlú tí wọ́n jà for more than 2 or 3 kàtẹ́ sọ pé almost 3 or 4 decades. But yet only 100,000 people died. So let's continue. The national flag is flying from every house in the capital, Dili. Siren wail as shining black limousine whisked visitant dignitaries to their meetings. The country has been celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Act of National Heroism that brought its independence after 24 years. After 24 years of brutal Indonesia occupation. A referendum held under the auspice of the United Nations on August 30, 1999. So, tí anybody bá ń sọ fún wa pé ká lọ dúró the United Nations, you will wait forever because nobody is coming to give you any referendum based on the fact that there is no crisis, there is no killing, there is no anarchy, there is no ups and downs in Nigeria. You will all be told, just go and vote and elect the right people, and that's exactly what the British government is telling you. So one thing is, East Timor got their independence through a referendum, but nobody is telling you that they fought for 24 years with the Indonesia. Are we ready to fight 24 years with the Nigerian government? Ká máa bára wa jà, ká máa wọnú gbó lọ, ká máa jáde láti inú gbó, ká gba bí díẹ̀, ká máa bọ́ǹbù bẹ̀, ká máa bà nǹkan jẹ́. Or we come out when we are asking for the super rally that will lead to the next phase of the movement. If not, Ọlọ́run kọ́kọ́ sọ̀kalẹ̀ anywhere, àwa la máa jáde fúnra wa. So if anybody is thinking, Ọlọ́run bọ̀, you are wasting your time. Ọlọ́run sí lẹ́yìn alábòsí. Because àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ a máa sọ fún yín pé ká lọ ṣe sùúrù. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé sùúrù ò lè yanjú tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. Sùúrù táwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re ṣe, mo tún ráwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re kan ní sàwọn yẹn tún náà ń support Kwankwaso. So we now have an idea in which it's a gag or man. So just going through these is just to give us a background. And that's exactly what I want you to understand. You can go and read these later yourself so that we're not taking too much of our time. The most important thing is we have the right to self-determination, and that right will be used. We continue to use that to educate our people. Now let's watch this briefly.
Òun náà la ṣe ń ṣọ́ra tá a ṣe ń fà díẹ̀ kó má ní ìdí plan B kankan. Kó má ní ìdí plan B púpọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ pẹ̀lú jọ́ àtayọ̀. Mo bá yín yọ fún ẹ ti forí tì ẹ ti fà ẹ ti tì ó dẹ̀ ti wá bọ́ sí Ọlọ́run ti fi ìbùkún sí pé a máa ní kọ́ńtì tiwa láìpẹ́.
Àmì o. Ẹ ṣé gan bàbá. Bàbá ẹ wà ní bínú sí wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ yín. Àwa ní ìbéèrè 5 láti inú studio wa ń bí. Àwọn èèyàn náà fi 5 ránṣẹ́. Wọ́n ní ká bọ̀ bí bàbá léèrè pé ká bá wa tàn mọ́lẹ̀ sí gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Bàbá ẹ jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ mú ọ̀rọ̀ yìí látàkọ àbísà. Ojú wo lẹ fi wo bí Nàìjíríà ṣe rí lásìkò yìí àti ti gbá tàwọn bàbá owó lọ́wọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ dẹ́sà.
Nígbà àwọn òkú à ń fi wẹ́ ọmọ kékeré tó ń sá káàkiri ni ọmọ tààrà ẹ̀dá kéwkéw tó ń gbá bọ́ọ̀lù tó ń fò tó ń jó ìyẹn ní 1950s ló ń dá Awólọ́wọ̀ nǹkan tá a ní dé ní òkú ni kò sí country bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. There is no country left. Wọ́n ti fà á, wọ́n ti tú, wọ́n ti bà á jẹ́ pátápátá. The result is that there is no Nigerian left. That's the matter. Àti débi tó jẹ́ pé kò sí nǹkan tí Nàìjíríà lè náwó sí báyìí láyé ìkan lè sọ pé àwa la ní eléyìí. Owó ò sí mọ́. Ó ti débi pé ìjọba federal government Nàìjíríà ò lè sanwó civil servants mọ́. wọ́n lérí pé wọ́n ní àmì wọ́n ní kíní kan wọ́n àdèsánwó ọlọ́pàá wọ́n àdèsánwó àmì ó jẹ́ nìyẹn Nigerian currency ó ń lọlẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ ló ń lọlẹ̀ sí ó kù díẹ̀ kó dé 1,000 lọ́sẹ̀ tó kọjá ó tún padà sí sísàlẹ̀ díẹ̀ bọ̀dọ̀ ó tún padà lọ sókè o lẹ́nu bíjọ́ mẹ́ta yìí ó ń lọlẹ̀ ní kò sí nǹkan ọmọ kan wá kọ ìwé kan ránṣẹ́ sí mi ní ìjẹta sentence gbólóhùn ọ̀rọ̀ burúkú kan wà náà tó le jù is in English màá dẹ̀ sọ ní English kẹgbọ́.
Okay.
Ó ní everything made for the good of man. Everything made for the good of man has been subverted and destroyed in the unfortunate experiment called Nigeria. Everything made for the good of man has been subverted and destroyed in the unfortunate experiment called Nigeria. Kò sí nǹkan tó dáadáa tí Nigeria ò ti bàjẹ́ tí Nigeria ò fọ́ sọnù. Gbogbo ayé ní political party wọ́n fi ń ṣèjọba. Ìjọba Nigeria ní political party láti máa jí owó ni wọ́n ṣèjọba kankan. Tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ ṣe election wọn á lọ publish kíní kan wá ní manifesto irọ́ wọn mí ní ibi tí wọ́n ṣe máa ráyè débi owó tó máa rówó kó jẹ ni. Kò sí political party kankan. Tí o bá dìde tó bá rí wípé àwọn tọ̀hún yẹn ó dàbí pé wọ́n rówó owó ìmọ̀ àdọ́wọ́ wọn ju tàwa wà tún kóra wà tún lọ tún kúrò pàtì ẹ̀ wà tún lọ síbẹ̀ wọn kì í ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ níbikíbi tó o bá ṣẹ̀ tó o bá kó jẹ tí ọlọ́pàá fẹ́ wá máa mú ẹ wà á lọ join pàtì àwọn tó ń ṣèjọba gbogbo ariwo yẹn á parẹ́ síbẹ̀. It's a country of destruction and death. Kò sí nǹkan kan tó kù sí Nàìjíríà mọ́. We Yoruba don't want to be part of it. We have decided where we are living and we are living. The fẹ́ change ìjọba Nàìjíríà kò kàn wá ọ̀rọ̀ restructuring ọ̀rọ̀ change government kọ́ là ń sọ yìí. Ọ̀rọ̀ wípé we have a right to our self-determination and we are taking our self-determination and living peacefully. That's all.
Okay. Bàbá adúpẹ́ lọ yín torí gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣàlàyé ó sì ń wọnú etí mi ó ń tẹ́ mi lọ́rùn. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí oníròyìn ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin àgbàlẹ̀ sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ òkèrè tí ò bá ti lé ó máa dé ni. Àwọn kan tiẹ̀ ní bóyá àwọn politician kan ni wọ́n sponsor ẹ̀yin àti Dr. Sunday Igboho. Wọ́n ní bóyá àwọn olóṣèlú kan.
Àwọn wo ló ń jẹ́ òṣèlú? Àwọn wo ló ń jẹ́ olóṣèlú yẹn?
Wọ́n láwọn olóṣèlú ló ń sanwó fún bàbá Abájí Akíntóyè.
Àwọn politician fúnra wọn ló ń sọ wọn yẹn láti bu ẹnu àtẹ́lù nǹkan tèmi àti Sunday Igboho ń ṣe. Nítorí gbogbo àwa yòókù àwọn olóṣèlú fúnra wọn ni kò sẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ò kàn wá ọ̀rọ̀ wa ò kàn wọ́n á ti sọ fún wọn. Àwọn fẹ́ máa kí ni Yorùbá máa ṣerú ní Nàìjíríà àwa láti kó Yorùbá kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ò kàn wá ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ò kàn wọ́n ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan ṣoṣo la béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn. Ká má máa rán àwọn ọmọ kó lọ máa àwọn ọmọ wọn kó wá lọ máa attack àwọn ọmọ wa tó ń ṣe Yorùbá nation káàkiri that's all. We have nothing to do with them. Òótọ́ ọmọ ìyá àti ọmọ bàbá náà ní gbogbo wa.
Okay.
But lẹ́yìn lágbo ilé wọ́n lè rẹ́ni tí wọ́n lè rọ́mọ tó ń ṣọ̀rẹ́ tí jàǹdùkú kan kó lè já wá láti ta kó wá èèfò ìyá ẹ̀ kó dẹ̀ máa ṣọ̀rẹ́ jàǹdùkú yẹn tó yẹn bá lè fún lówó díẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ rọ́mọ mìíràn tó máa jàjà kú láti defend ìyá ẹ̀.
Okay. Okay. Ẹ ṣé bàbá ẹ̀yin àgbàlagbà Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ pẹ́ fún wa lẹ́yìn àgbààgbà tẹ́ ẹ jágbà dáadáa. Bàbá kí ni àjọṣepọ̀ tó wà láàrin ẹ̀yin àti ẹgbẹ́ Afẹ́nifẹ́re sà?
Kò sí nǹkan kan láàrin mi Afẹ́nifẹ́re lèmi láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ àbí àwọn ọmọ Awólọ́wọ̀. But lẹ́nu ìgbà tí mo ti dìde láti 2019 mo ní ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà yẹ jẹ́ ká kúrò ńbẹ̀. Táwọn sọ pé rárá ẹ máa ṣe restructure mọ́lẹ̀ sọ́fẹ̀. Àjọ ń ṣe restructuring yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀ ni o. Mo ti kọ more than 145 articles lórí ọ̀rọ̀ restructuring. Ó wà nínú gbogbo articles tí mo ń kọ láyé àtijọ́. Àpáta ni tẹ́ bá wò nínú Tribune Àpáta tẹ́ bá wò nínú pépà mìíràn Gbógungbòrò tẹ́ bá wò àǹsọ̀n gbogbo wọn yẹn ọ̀rọ̀ restructuring là ń sọ ń pa wọn yẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí mo wá rí lẹ́yìn ìgbà tá a ṣe rálì kan rẹpẹtẹ ní Ìbàdàn ní 2017 èmi ni mo jẹ́ bí one of the coordinators of that rally for restructuring tí mo wá rí i pé wò and waste time wà lélẹ̀. Meanwhile àwọn èèyàn wa ń jìyà. The economy is going down. Irú poverty táwa Yorùbá òrírí àwa ń rí. Ó ti dé stage tó jẹ́ pé many Yorùbá families àwọn èèyàn kò send ọmọ wọn sí school mọ́. School children without schools wọ́n grow ní number lé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá land. That's an abomination. Àwọn ọmọ tó lọ sí school kan tó bá jáde wọn níríṣẹ́ gbogbo wọn fọ́n jáde lọ sí ìlú onílùú. Àwọn tó ojú bá ń kán tí wọn rẹ́ ni láàrin àwọn lọ́wọ́ wọn láwọn lè rìn across the Sahara desert lọ jáde sí Mediterranean jáde sí Southern Europe. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ń kú sínú desert ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń kú sínú Mediterranean. Àwọn dẹ̀ ní àjọkó kan wá ṣe restructuring. Àwọn Fúlàní dẹ̀ ti gbé nǹkan wọn sápò wọn náà wọn làwọn ní. So the answer ẹ jẹ́ ká kúrò nínú kínní ẹ jẹ́ ká kó àwọn èèyàn wa kúrò kínní. A ṣe ìpàdé kan ńjọ́ kan lórí Zoom gbogbo àwọn àbẹ̀rẹ̀ Professor kí ló rò mo ní kò sí nǹkan méjì tí mo rò ẹ mọ̀ nǹkan tí mo rò kí lẹ tún ṣẹ̀ wá ń béèrè fún. Nǹkan tí mo rò ni wípé àwa Yorùbá nídìí láti kúrò Nàìjíríà báyìí kí gbogbo ẹ̀ tó bàjẹ́ má wa lọ́wọ́ kí Nàìjíríà tó fọ́ ayé Yorùbá sọnù ẹ jẹ́ ká jáde báyìí. Àwọn máa wò ó àmọ́ náà ẹ wo àwa tá a fẹ́ ṣe àti ń ṣe. So kò sí nǹkan kan láàrin èmi àti Afẹ́nifẹ́re. I respect Afẹ́nifẹ́re, that's the organization tí bàbá wa Awólọ́wọ̀ torí ẹ̀ tá a fi dá sílẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n kò sí nǹkan kan láàrin èmi àti Afẹ́nifẹ́re o. Àwọn tí mò ń bá ṣọ̀rẹ́ báyìí tí mò ń súnmọ́ tí àwọn ni self-determination organizations. Àwọn ni o. Àwọn tó ń fẹ́ self-determination for the Yoruba nation. I can never, while I am able to breathe, I can never and will never suggest to the Yoruba people pé ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí Nàìjíríà. It will never happen. Ó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn. Àwọn tó ń pariwo pé àwọn olóṣèlú kan ò lè súnmọ́dọ̀ Sunday Igboho kò lè súnmọ́dọ̀ mi.
Ẹ ṣe bàbá ojú òní tì yín. Bàbá nígbà kan a gbọ́ rí pé ẹ jẹ́ kókó nínú igun tó gbé Yorùbá World Congress dání. Ṣé ẹjà ni àbí bó ló ṣiṣẹ́ lẹ́sà?
Ńgbà tí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ èmi náà ni mo da ìrìnlẹ̀ suggest orúkọ Yorùbá World Congress àfidásílẹ̀ tá a ṣe pàdé tí wọ́n accept ẹ̀. But ìgbà tó dá ìjà dénú ẹ̀ àwọn kan má jẹ́ mi ò fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ìdọ̀tí àárín yẹn.
Mo fara mọ́.
Ìdọ̀tí yẹn ni àwa yòókù sá fún. Àwọn wọ̀nyí tán dẹ̀ wá nǹkan mìíràn tí ò bá wa lójú mu wọ́n ti lọ àbúrò wọn mọ́. Ẹja kú lórí yẹn gbà yẹn. Bàbá ní nǹkan bí ọ̀sẹ̀ mélòó kan sẹ́yìn wọ́n ní igbákejì yín resign ìyẹn Professor Adeniran. Ẹ gbọ́ ṣé ìjà ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àbí kí ló dé? Kò resign àjọ ń ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tá a jọ ń ṣe lájọ ń ṣe mo rò pé àwọn ọmọ ní newspaper wa ló gbé lẹ́tà tó kọ nǹkan tí a ṣe ni wípé Professor Adeniran kò ní máa jẹ́ deputy Alana máa jẹ́ chairman of Ìlànà èmi fúnra mi mo máa kúrò ní Ìlànà. Iṣẹ́ gbogbo tí mo ṣe ó ti pọ̀ jù gbogbo èèyàn ló gbà wípé iṣẹ́ tí mo ṣe ó ti pọ̀ jù. Arúgbó lèmi I'm 87 in a few months in 2 or 3 months now I shall be 88 years old. So mi ò lè máa ṣe gbogbo iṣẹ́ wọ̀nyí yìí. So Professor Adeniran fúnra rẹ̀ ti wá gbà ó ti kọ́kọ́ máa ń bínú pé bàbá ẹ̀ lè kúrò nínú Ìlànà bàbá ẹ̀ lè kúrò gbọ̀dọ̀ fúnra rẹ̀ ló wá fẹ́nu ara ẹ̀ sọ pé bàbá àfẹ́kẹ́ kú. So bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn.
Ṣé pé ẹ sì jọ wà papọ̀?
Of course.
Ọ̀tọ̀ ní táwa ń gbọ́ ta pé wọ́n ní ẹ ti túká.
Ẹ̀ka bá ń gbọ́ àhesọ lásán ṣé àhesọ làwọn èèyàn wa ń pe rúmọ̀.
Ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àhesọ ni a máa ń pè róyìn ẹlẹ́jẹ̀ gbà mí àhesọ ni.
Ok mo lánàá ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn lénìí. Àhesọ.
Ẹ ṣì gan bàbá bàbá wọn ní tí ọmọ bá fẹ́ fọmú lẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ ìyá ẹ̀ ṣe é mọ̀ pé ojúbọ̀rò ṣeé ṣe. Àwọn olóṣèlú rèé wọ́n ti ní kí agbẹ́kínní wá wípé àwọn lọ́kàn Yorùbá nation náà dẹ̀ sọ pé àsìkò ti tó láti dúró. Bó o lẹ ṣe fẹ́ rìn tó fi jẹ́ pé rògbòdìyàn ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ ìfàǹfà méjì.
rògbòdìyàn àwa ò bá yàn kankan jà àti jà láti yẹjọ́ ìjọ tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti búra àwa tá a fẹ́ jà fún òmìnira Yorùbá àti búra wípé àní bá ẹnikẹ́ni jà àní ju òkúta du ẹni ẹlẹ́ni ẹnikẹ́ni àní ṣépè fún ẹnikẹ́ni. Àwọn ọba wa pè wá jókòó pé ọ̀rọ̀ tá a la fẹ́ ṣe á dẹ̀ ṣeé ṣe o ṣùgbọ́n ká jọ ká má jà á dẹ̀ sọ fún á dẹ̀ búra wájú wọn pé àní bá ẹnikẹ́ni jà àní jà rárá á dẹ̀ jà látijọ́ yẹn a ti ṣe rálì lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ kò sí ìjà a ṣe ń Ìbàdàn a ṣe lábẹ́òkúta a ṣe ní Òṣogbo a ṣe ní Ifẹ̀ a ṣe ní Àkúrẹ́ a ṣe ní Adó Èkìtì kò sí wàhálà kò sẹ́ńtà bájà it was all massive rallies. Àwọn èèyàn tó gathers ní Adó Èkìtì ní the last one tá a ṣe pé about 3.2 million people kò sí Nàìjíríà ò tí ì rérò tó pọ̀ tó yẹn rí. Ìgbà tá a ní ká wá lọ ṣe tèkó ìjọba wa bẹ̀rù wọ́n wá lọ try láti dàrú àwọn èèyàn leaders wa tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ wá announce pé ok ìjọba ò jẹ́ ká ṣe léyìí ẹ jẹ́ ká stop ẹ̀ àwa ṣe níjọ́ mìíràn that's all àwa ò bá nìkan kan jà. And our people are doing rallies all over the world, in Washington, D.C., in New York, in London, in Tokyo, in Japan, everywhere. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tí tá a bá jà, àbá nìkan kan jà o. Àwa ò ní bá àwọn èèyàn tiwa jà, àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n àtàbúrò wa àtọmọ ìyá wa làwọn tó ní àwọn tán ní nǹkan tí ó wu àwọn ní pé àwọn ló kàn láti ṣe president Nàìjíríà tó ti kú. Nígbà tí Yorùbá nation tá a ṣẹ̀fẹ́ gbé dìde wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Káwọn ṣe àwọn Fúlàní gan tó ní Nàìjíríà ò fẹ́ ṣe election àwọn èèyàn wa ń tanra wọn jẹ ni. 2 weeks ago yes 2 weeks ago àwọn terrorists ń kó wọlé wọ́n fẹ́ gba ìjọba Buhari ti sá lọ Buhari ò sí Nàìjíríà mọ́ àbí ẹ̀ ò mọ̀ Buhari ti sá lọ. Because Buhari retí pé àwọn terrorists yẹn máa gbàjọba wọ́n lọ sí American army ní ò jẹ́ kí àwọn terrorists gba ìjọba ní Abuja àwọn terrorists yẹn ló control gbogbo surrounding Abuja lẹ́ni president fúnra rẹ̀ ò lè travel láti Abuja lọ sí ìlú ẹ̀ ní Katsina iná jó lọ́nà ìgbà tó try láti ṣe yẹn about 2 months ago àwọn terrorists attack mọ́tòkéde ẹ̀ lọ́nà. Wọ́n fọ́ mọ́tò ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ mọ́tò tó ń gbé lọ sọ́nà wọ́n dẹ̀ pa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó ń bá lọ. Wọ́n dẹ̀ wá lérí pé wọ́n máa kidnap òun fúnra rẹ̀. Àwọn kan wá náà fẹ́ ṣe election irú election wo lẹ fẹ́ ṣe? Kò sí election kankan wọ́n tanra wọn jẹ ni.
Bàbá ibi tí ẹ bá bọ̀rọ̀
sọ fún má kówó sọnù mọ́ kò sí election. Ẹ má kówó yín sọnù mọ́ kò election kankan ò ní wáyé kì í ṣàwárà máa stop election fúnra ara ẹ̀ ni ò ní wáyé fúnra ara ẹ̀ àwọn tó ní Nàìjíríà àwọn Fúlàní ò fẹ́ election kò ní sí election rárá àwọn tó ń náwó káàkiri wọn kàn kó wọn sọnù ni ẹ̀jẹ̀ gbọ́ kàtíkù máa campaign.
Ó kálukú náà wo bó ṣe ń lọ náà ni.
Àtíkù ti mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ kò kówó ẹ̀ sọnù kò bá wọn sá káàkiri.
Yeni yıl heyecanı her yer...
I'm gonna leave that for now. I have more to discuss on this program. Àtìgbọ́n tí bàbá sọ lórí program tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ lánàá. While I was doing that, I was preparing the next conversation. You can go and watch the remaining part of that. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí. Let me go back to my library. A lot of us do not know that Taiwan, à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Taiwan lẹ́ẹ̀kan, mo ń bọ̀ lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan ni, so let me mute this. Ìlú wo ló ń pè ní Taiwan? Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo ìlú wo ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Taiwan, a very beautiful country, they have a lot to offer the world. Taiwan, as we know today, for record, okay? Torí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn mọ̀ Taiwan. Ẹlòmíì ò gbọ́ rí pé ìlú kan wà lágbàáyé tí wọ́n recognize. Tọ́dẹ̀ jẹ́ ìlú tó ń ṣayé wọn lọ tí owó dẹ̀ ń wọlé síbẹ̀ tó ní flag ti wọn. Ẹlòmíì tẹ̀ ní à ṣọ́rọ̀ flag ló kàn ní sìn tẹ́ ń pín flag káàkiri ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ tí gbàlú tẹ́ ń pín flag ọ̀rọ̀ mùgọ̀. Ẹ̀nà tẹ̀ máa pa mí tẹ́lómi bá ń sọ àní mo sọ fún yín pé bọ́lẹ̀ kájà media ló pọ̀ káàkiri. Now ìlú tá à ń pè ní Taiwan, okay? Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ bá mi ká lọ lórí ìrìn àjò tá a fẹ́ sọ nísìn. wọ́n pè ìlú kan ní Taiwan. Taiwan, officially the Republic of China, is a country in East Asia at the junction of the East and the South China Seas in the northwestern Pacific Ocean, with the peoples of Republic of China to the northwest and Japan to the northeast and Philippines to the south. But there is something that a lot of us are asking. Let me first put this on Google. And what I'm going to do is, how did Taiwan, báwo ló ṣe gba independent wọn? Let's first, how did Taiwan become a country? Not became. Let's go and look into the history a little bit. As a result of surrender and occupation of Japan at the World War II, ẹ rántí pé nígbà tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́lẹ́kan à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa World War I, bóyá World War III gan ló máa pín gbogbo ẹ̀ kólúkálùkù dá wà níbi tó yẹ kó wà. Mo kí n bẹ̀ Bishop Adesina, thank you so much. Bóyá World War III ló máa da gbogbo ẹ̀rú kakúkú mọ̀ pé kólúkálùkù ní sovereignty tiẹ̀, because tógun kan ò bá wáyé nǹkan kan ò lè di tẹlòmíì. Ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa, mo ò ní pé mò ń pe ogun sí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá o, but àwọn ogun kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ló jẹ́ kẹ́lòmíì tí ìlú ẹ̀ fi wà lẹ́nìí. Sọ pé ká má máa sọ pé ogun máa wá, ogun lè wá ó lè má wá. Bàbá náà ti sọ nínú fídíò tẹ́gbọ́lẹ̀ nǹkan yẹn, gbàdúrà pé kógun wá. But should it happen, there's nothing we can do to it, and we have to just prepare our mind. Now, after the World War II, after Ogun World War II, the island of Taiwan was placed under the governance of the Republic of China, and it was ruled by KMT on the 25th of October 1945. But nígbà wo gangan ni wọ́n gba làwọn di ìlú, ìyẹn ni mo fẹ́ mọ̀. Let's go a little bit into the the history. According to àtìmọ̀ pé ní 1940, nígbà tá a ti sọ pé 1945 ní China, Republic of China ló ti ń control after Ogun World War II. Then the Republic of China government moved to Taipei ní 7th of December 1949, just 1 year after. Moriya tó bí mi lọ́mọ ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò, and she said to me she travelled to Taiwan in 1970. Mo sọ fún yín pé ìyá mi ti ń travel kan tó bí mi ní 1978. 1970 ni mo sì mi ti lọ sí Taiwan. So ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Now nígbà tó di July 31st 1992, nígbà táwọn sáré pé kí bàbá wa the late MK Abiola tó máa di president ìlú tí wọ́n ní jẹ́ kó dì í tí wọ́n padà gbà kúrò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, àwọn tí ń jà fún pé káwọn náà nílùú tiwọn, but mo ti rí answer mi gangan as I want it. Mo fẹ́ wo ìgbà gangan lọ di independent. Okay, I can see the loss of United Nations representation October, but there must be something that I can read exactly so that I'm not giving a wrong information. Mambo. Let me go back to Wikipedia a little bit. Let's go back here. Okay, now let's go through this again now. As a result of the surrender and occupation of Japan at the end of the World War II, Ogun World War II tí wọ́n lo àwọn bàbá wa, àìmọye àwọn bàbá wa tí Britain kó lọ tọkọlọ kó wọn sínú ogun tí kò sí tó kàn wá nínú ẹ̀. Ogun tó kàn wá wọ́n dẹ̀ kọ́ àwọn èèyàn because àwọn ló ń colonize wa níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Ẹ mọ̀ pé 1914 làwọn ti kó wa mẹ́rin lọ́ti amalgamate wa, but wọ́n ti wà lọ́dọ̀ wa before 1914. I don't think a lot of people knows that the British government or the British Empire have been with us prior before 1914, more than thousands of years. Following the February 28th massacre in 1947, martial law was declared in 1949 by the governor of Taiwan province. They are province, but under the same, between, Republic of China. But ibi tí mo fẹ́ lò gangan is in 1987, martial law was lifted and Taiwan began a democratization process. Ó dà pé ibi tó ti jáde lélẹ̀ ní 1987, ọmọ tó bí ní 1987. So tí wọ́n bá ń wò pé ìjà tá à ń jà nísìn, àwa náà ń prepare sílẹ̀ fáwọn ọmọ míì tó máa gbọ́ history tó ń lọ nísìn, and we must be ready to fight it now. In 1987, martial law was lifted and Taiwan began a democratization process, beginning with the abolition of temporary provisions, culminating with the first direct president election in 1996. By 2000, the Democratic Progress Party, DPP, came to power, began to pursue, okay, àti rojú tó ọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí. Báwa náà ṣe ń sáré táwọn kan ní àgbàgbọ́ ẹni tẹ́ ń sọ yẹn rọ́ ni bla 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 blow blow blow, anybody can say anything, but ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa dúró nítorí pé bí àwọn kan náà ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ process tí wọ́n ní Taiwan tí wọ́n ń wò lẹ́ni nísìnyí tí ìyá tèmi ti lọ ní 1970 tí wọ́n ti di super power lẹ́ni even though they are not recognized. Ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa, America lè recognize wọn but China ò fún wọn láyè kó di member United Nations. China ń block ẹni. Ibi tí mo fẹ́ lò gangan nìyẹn. I am not interested in how they got their independence, but it's just something that we want to put on record. So nígbà tó máa fi di 2000, ìyẹn yẹ 2000 ni o, tàbá wo 2022, that's about 22 years ago. So gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ ń sọ pé kíní ìgbà la máa wá di alágbára, it will happen within 20 years. Tàbá ti gba Yorùbá nation, a kàn máa look back ní pé ó dẹ̀ da ta jàjà yẹn nígbà yẹn o, ó dẹ̀ da tí a ta struggle o, tá a dẹ̀ gbọ́ sáwọn tó ní àwọn agitator, àwọn ìyá jágbajàgba, àwọn ìyá onídọ̀tí, àwọn bàbá onídọ̀tí, àwọn tí wọ́n ní káwọ́, àwọn tó fẹ́ ba ọjọ́ ọ̀la yìí jẹ́, because APC will be there for 8 years tí Tinubu bá wọlé. So kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ after 8 years? A tún máa nọ́ọ̀sì bóyá ó lè máa nọ́ọ̀sì èyí tó di cameraman tó rí camera ní Lekki toll gate, oní spy the spy who love me Fashola, after ti gbogbo nǹkan ti bàjẹ́ ní Lekki toll gate lòun dé ló ṣẹ̀wárí camera ká put this camera there, ó yẹ fún mi láńkàtì kí n má lọ mú pẹ̀lú fingerprint mi. Ó tẹ̀ máa ń rò pé ọ̀dẹ̀ ní gbogbo wa, idiot all over the place. So èyí tí mo fẹ́ kọ́kọ́ lò ní bíbá ni pé nígbà tó máa di 2000, ìyẹn 22 years ago, ọmọ tó bí ní 2000 nísìn ó wà nínú ìṣẹ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí bàbá Akíntóyè ń sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, ìyẹn lànà wa tó ń sọ pé wọ́n lọ sí school, wọ́n oúnjẹ jẹ, owó rẹ̀ ní bíbá tí wọ́n fi ń wọ̀nyí. You need 4 of the 500 naira kó tó lè survive every day ní Nàìjíríà. A lot of you do not have that. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin pé ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe sùúrù. A wà lórí ètò ìyẹn mo ṣe ń kọ́ tí bàbá. So àbọ̀rọ̀ mi ò yé yín nísìn, because tí ẹ bá gbọ́ àlàyé ọ̀rọ̀ ká mọ ìdí tí a gbọ́dọ̀ jáde nígbà tí wọ́n bá pè pé ká jáde fún super rally, then àmọ́ tá à ń ṣe nìyẹn o. Àwọn Taiwan ò ní wá ràn yín lọ́wọ́, àwa la máa ran wa lọ́wọ́. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń bọ̀ wá ran anybody lọ́wọ́. And that is something we must put at the back of our mind. It was all from 2000, some 22 years ago. Èmi ti lò 20 something years ní UK. Nígbà tẹ́mi máa fi dé UK, àwọn Taiwanese àwọn tí ń jà pé káwọn gba independent. But àwa rò pé Nàìjíríà máa dá. Ìgbà tẹ́mi náà dé, mo ní mo sí bí ká máa ká da ṣọ́ọ̀pù sí Èkó, ká máa tajà. A ní ẹni tó yẹ pé ó ní ṣọ́ọ̀pù ní àárín Èkó níbẹ̀. Nígbà tí iná sun gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀pù yẹn, kódà àwọn gọ́mọ tó kù sí wọn lára. Àní Nàìjíríà ò lè sàn wá, kò lè gbé wá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kúrò nínú ẹ̀. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká fi sentiment sí pé ọmọ a kì í gbé ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ dí ká lọ gbé fọ́mọ ẹlòmíì. Ó àgbélẹ̀kẹ̀ fẹ́ anybody. À ń fẹ́ self-determination is our right. 2000 tí ìwọ ń sá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ pé medical doctor nìyẹn, ó wá dé London, ó wá ṣe ń sọ níṣẹ́, ó dé England, ó dé Scotland, ó dé Canada, ó dé Cyprus, ó lọ káàkiri, ó ṣẹ̀ wá ń sọ níṣẹ́ pé ara ti wá dẹ̀ ẹ́, àwọn ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Ó ní Koiki shut up. Ó ní ta ni ìwọ tó máa decide fún èmi tí mo kàwé, tí mo kà ní Unilag lóòótọ́, but ó ríṣẹ́ ní Unilag nígbà tó ṣe tán náà. Ó ríṣẹ́ náà, gbogbo ilẹ̀ ń sá kúrò, bẹ́ẹ̀ mi náà ṣe sá kúrò. Gbogbo wa we are foreigners, ta sá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, a sá kúrò nínú ìlú tí kò ṣe àǹfààní fún wa. Ó wá ṣe mọ̀ nísìn pé àwọn TJ ni mò ń bá wí yẹn o, because ó ní engineer lòun. Engineer tó ò lọ sí agboolé ẹ̀ kó tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ bá wọn ṣe gọ́tà nílé ilé tán nílé agboolé ẹ̀. I'm talking to Tajudeen Rahim, tẹ́ ẹ bá mi tán pè ní TJ. Because ọjọ́ kò ní sìn pẹ̀lú àwọn oníkùn bẹ̀m̀bẹ̀m. Ẹ̀yin ti ara ti dẹ̀yìn, ẹ̀yin ti ní status, ẹ ti ní ìwé, ẹ ti lè ṣiṣẹ́ ẹsẹ̀ wá ń sọ pé káwọn tó wà nílé ká jọ dìbò fún Tinubu tí Tinubu bá ṣe after 8 years kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ èmi tẹ̀ sọ pé tó bá tẹ̀ ṣe after 8 years kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ìyẹn tó bá tẹ̀ rí ṣe because everybody knows that there is a fake constitution every lawyer ti sọ yẹn ní láti ṣe máa mẹ́nu báyẹn so what we are trying to say now is kí ló dé tí Taiwan ibi tí mo fẹ́ lò ní sí nìyẹn I'm gonna play this video now kí ló dé tí wọ́n recognize wọn as a member of United Nations because ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ ní pé tá a bá lọ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà ṣé ìlú kan máa recognize wa ìyẹn ọ̀mọ ayé àwa kọ́lọ̀ ní kọ́kọ́ recognize lágbàáyé so before we talk about that I just want to take us back now àti mọ̀gbà tí gbogbo wàhálà táwọn fi gba independence wọn but how powerful is Taiwan today tá a bá ń sọ pé Taiwan how powerful ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo passport index Taiwan níbo ni passport wọn wà ìyẹn pálí táwọn ọmọ ìlú wọn ní Taiwan passport index ká lè máa fi compare ìlú tí kò tó more than 25 million passport Taiwan passport index this is a live broadcast in any 21 tẹ́ bá ń wò lórí any other platform is not live please do not call me nígbà tẹ́ bá ń wò lórí Wo TV because a lot of people tẹ́ bá ń wò lórí Wo TV ẹ tún wá máa pè mí nígbà tẹ́mi bí mo ń sùn àbí mo wà ní ibi tí mo ti ń jẹun tí mo ń gbádùn ayé mi Taiwan passport okay mo spell passport yẹn dáadáa thank you so much to those of you that have joined us a máa ṣojú òpó but not now I still have a lot to discuss Taiwan passport index ranking don fífẹ́ lọ wò number 31 tó bá ní pálí Taiwan lẹ́ni Taipei City is the capital of Taiwan thank you so much to my mother Taiwanese passport is currently ranked number 31 in the world ìyẹn passport wọn lẹ́ni tó bá ní passport wọn ayé máa dẹrùn fún ẹ wàá máa lọ káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé bí passport wọn ṣe rí lélẹ́yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ni no light no forex to operate swiftly Nigeria is dead pátápátá is more than dead and we must not revive it by voting in 2023 because anybody telling you come and vote they know that nothing is going to change kò dẹ́ ṣe gbogbo wọn tán ní kọ́ wá vote yẹn náà lọ́ máa rí jẹ Peter Obi cannot do anything Atiku can't do anything gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ let them come and debate us we're talking about the indigenous people now we're not talking about the shit-hole country called Nigeria that was put together by the British government in 1914 now that we know the passport index of Taiwan ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo bí tí GDP wọn wà that's their gross domestic their GDP ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo according to what we have a country that is not 25 million wọ́ọ̀ tí ẹ máa gbọ́ mi dáadáa o ibi tí mo kàn fẹ́ máa lò níbí báyìí ni pé this is a country that is not recognized in United Nations but their economy is as powerful is as strong is as so powerful that they can buy Nigeria if they want to buy the whole of Nigerians wọ́n lè ra gbogbo yín because by the time they negotiate but fẹ́ jẹ́ kó negotiate àwa because àwa náà mọ̀ pé our economy a Yoruba economy because ẹlòmíì mọ̀ tán pè lẹ́ economy o a Yoruba economy will be as at least 850 billion in another 20 years. Kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ láti Miami Aziz. Very good afternoon my brother. So why should we remain in this shit-hole country called Nigeria knowing fully well that a nation like Yoruba nation can give us an economy that is going to be valued at 850 billion. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo GDP Nigeria, okay? Remember that Taiwan is 25 million. It's not even up to that. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo GDP Nigeria. GDP. The GDP of Nigeria is not even up to 500 billion according to last year. And this is a country where they put everybody together. And Saraki will go to Ilorin, Adefila Oli. You will see all the politicians, FOLAYEMI, gbogbo wọn pátápátá. They keep moving, pretending that they can fix Nigeria. Nobody can fix Nigeria with the fake union that was put together and the fake constitution that is operating in Nigeria today. Let those elites come and argue with us. They know that they cannot argue. Because we have been together. No. We will still be neighbors, okay? We will be neighbors, just as Britain is neighbor to Spain, just as Britain is neighbor to all the European countries. They came out of the EU because it does not favor them anymore. And they are not going to go back because they are not ready to go back. àwọn 16 million ló vote pé àwọn ò fẹ́ sí lára European Union mọ́, but they still have cordial relationship. So when we dissolve Nigeria, when we break up Nigeria, when we disintegrate from Nigeria, we will still be neighbors, okay? ìyàn mi pé ọmọ Haúsá tó fẹ́ ẹ̀ níjọ́ máa gbé papọ̀ kò disturb. Kí la máa wá ṣe ṣe láwọn àwọn tájọ́ ti fẹ́ ra wá, kí ni ẹni ṣe pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ? Ṣébi tí mo wá gbé níta ká tẹ̀ sọ pé mi ò tẹ̀ fẹ́ òyìnbó, àwọn tó fẹ́ òyìnbó ṣé wọ́n lé wọn kúrò nílùú ìnáwó? Àwọn tó fẹ́ mọ ìlú mi sọ lé wọn kúrò, gbogbo yẹn under immigration law láti máa deal pẹ̀lú gbogbo yẹn. Ẹ má ẹ̀kọ́ parọ́ fún yín, èmi tí mo wá lọ fẹ́ ọmọ Haúsá kí ló máa wá ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí? Ìfẹ́ ló jẹ́ kó lọ fẹ́ ọmọ Haúsá kò ìyẹn ò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú pé àgbà Yorùbá nation. Idiot all over the place. Ẹ wo GDP Nàìjíríà, ìlú mùjẹ̀mùjẹ̀, ìlú olè tó jẹ́ pé 211 million, kí là àkúkú yọ population tiwa kúrò níbẹ̀, káwa náà wá máa build the nation tiwa, ká develop ara wa. Ẹlòmíà máa sọ̀rọ̀ oúnjẹ là ń sọ nísìn, à ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé a máa ní economy tó máa ní GDP tó máa worth billions of dollars, tí a máa recognize ẹ̀ tó máa ní ID card tó lè máa lọ fi gba anything ní àgbáyé gọ́sẹ̀ tó bá possible, where you will be value. Ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé nínú United Nations nínú UNPO pé our destiny, mo ti sọ meaning destiny fún yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan, a ní láti padà síbẹ̀. So ẹ tẹ́tí kẹ́ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ká lè mọ̀ pé nígbà tá a bá máa jáde, a fẹ́ jáde fún ìdí kan àbí ìdí kejì ni. Kò ń ṣe pé because a kò fẹ́ jáde, no, a fẹ́ jáde because a fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n recognize pé àwa náà ìran ọmọ aládé ni wá. And as we now have an idea, àti mọ̀ bí tí passport ranking wọ́n wà, so I'm just writing this down because I can reference it back again when I'm doing a program. So àti mọ̀ pé $850 billion. Kí ni wọ́n produce nǹkan tó fi fún wọn lówó yìí? A máa kọ́kọ́ find yẹn. Kí ni wọ́n produce tó fi ní owó tó pọ̀ tó yìí? Tí ìwọ wá ń rò pé Nàìjíríà tó dìgbà tó bá mọmi àdúrà ló máa tó lálàáfíà. No, it's because tó bá kọ́kọ́ ní hospital tó máa tọ́jú ẹ, ò ní domi àlàáfíà. Yes, it's good to pray, to be spiritual. But ṣé àwọn eléyìí náà wọ́n ṣẹ̀sìn ni? Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo, a ti mọ̀ pé 31st number 31 ni passport ranking wọn, 31 passport ranking. Now ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo ẹ̀sìn wọn ló ń ṣe níbẹ̀, torí pé wọ́n máa ń rò pé àwa nìkan lẹ̀sìn tó dá lágbàáyé. Shut up, ẹ̀sìn wọn nìkan lẹ̀sìn tó dá o. Ìwọ́n máa ṣẹ̀sìn tiẹ̀ lọ nínú ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tó náà wà nísìn, àwọn náà ń ṣẹ̀sìn tiwọn. Kò sí pé ẹ̀sìn tiwọn ó bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́, ẹ̀sìn tiẹ̀ ò dẹ̀ bá tiwọn jẹ́. Ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ pé ìjà ẹ̀sìn kan la gbé dání. So let's talk about irú religion wo ló ní níbẹ̀. Let's go and look at it. For the most part, traditional religion practiced in Taiwan are Buddhism. So ṣùgbọ́n nísìn, so o rò pé wọ́n nìkan ni lẹ́sìn. Taoism and the folk religion, except for a small number of purely Buddhist temples. However, most of the island tradition places of worship combine all three religions. What is the main religion in Taiwan? Èèyàn ní pé tá bá gba Yorùbá nation, a máa sọ di ìṣẹ̀ṣe nìkan. No, but what we are saying is àwa nìkan kọ́ la lẹ́sìn lágbàáyé. There are so many religions around the world. Ìtí wọ́n bá mọ̀ ló máa dìmú ni. Wọ́n ní Christian níbẹ̀ kò pọ̀ ni. 4.5 identify as Christian. Wọ́n máa ní Muslim kò ní pọ̀ ni. Now we have at least àti now idea, okay? But ibi tí mo fẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ gbọ́ òun ni bàbá ìfẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Why is Taiwan not a member of United Nations? So if anybody is saying that Koiki tẹ́ bá gba Yorùbá nation wọ́n ní recognize yín, ìyẹn ò ń ṣe tuntun. Let's watch this. I do not own the copyright for this.
After I've outlined the defining features of a state, I'll usually give my students a list of locations around the world and ask them if each is a state in the sense that we use the term in international relations. This can be particularly challenging for American students as we use the term state in American politics in a different way than it's used around the world, a feature of the history of the country. I thus have to remind my American students that California and Texas are not states in the international relations sense of the term, even if we call them states in the United States. But a couple of cases are particularly interesting. Among them are the status of Palestine and Taiwan. This question also comes up in my United Nations course. Why in particular is Taiwan not a member of the United Nations? Hey everyone, I'm Noah Zerbe. I'm a professor of global politics at California State Polytechnic University, Humboldt. In this video series, I try to explain the concepts and theories behind current events, generally in 2 minutes or less. To understand Taiwan's status vis-a-vis the United Nations, we have to go back in time. China was a founding member of the United Nations, one of the 50 countries present at the San Francisco conference that established the organization in 1945. China had fought alongside the United States and the other allied powers against Germany and Japan in World War II, and was governed at the time by an anti-communist nationalist regime. 4 years later, in 1949, the Chinese Communist Party took control of the country in the Chinese Communist Revolution. The national government fled to Taiwan and reestablished itself there. But there was considerable debate and confusion as to whether the national government in Taipei or the communist government in Beijing should hold the Chinese seat in the United Nations and the Security Council veto power that went with it. In the absence of a definitive decision on the part of the United Nations, the nationalist government in Taiwan continued to hold the Chinese seat in the United Nations until 1971. The UN seat held by Myanmar today faces a similar issue, following the military coup in February 2021 that resulted in the overthrow of the democratically elected government in Myanmar. But the seat continues to be held by the ambassador appointed by the democratically elected government rather than the representative of the current military government in Myanmar. The legal and political questions at play in the decision about which government should represent China are interesting. The question of the Chinese seat was not considered a question of admission of a new member state, which would be a matter for the Security Council to resolve. Rather, it was merely a clarification about which government should represent the state and claim China's seat. In 1971, Albania introduced a resolution to the General Assembly which answered that question and awarded the seat to the communist government. That question had already been deemed an important matter, meaning that it would require a 2/3 majority to pass, but because it was not a Security Council or a membership issue, there were no vetoes. The resolution proposed by Albania passed with 76 in favor, most of Europe, the Soviet bloc, and the newly independent post-colonial world, 35 against, led by the United States and its closest allies in the Cold War, and 17 abstentions. I'll link to the debate over that resolution below. With the General Assembly agreeing that China's current seat in the United Nations should be controlled by the communist government in Beijing, Taiwan's only option for UN membership would be to submit a formal request to join the organization, going through the full membership process. But that process requires Security Council approval and is subject to a veto by China and the other permanent members of the Council. Taiwan has applied for admission, most recently in 2007. When that happened, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon refused to accept their application, citing the resolution proposed by Albania in 1971. While the United States objected to Ban's decision, no formal action was taken to overrule the Secretary General, so the application died without a vote. And that's why Taiwan does not have a seat in the United Nations. That's it for now. If you're interested in learning more about the UN system, check out my United Nations playlist, in which I explore the history, structure, functions, and contemporary challenges facing
this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought it forward, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Amadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country, but the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only the British intention for the country. This is,
and that is how far we can go with the presentation. I salute every one of us on the broadcast. Moki bugwa ni gbogbo bikibi tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní àṣálẹ́. We'll be back some other time. As we say all the time, self-determination is not a crime. Don't let anyone to bully you, and don't be bullied as well. Let's stick to what we believe and what we know, which is the law that says we have the right to what we are doing. We are not terrorists. We are not secessionists. We are not coup plotters. We are demanding that people need to understand that the law around the world, like I've explained in the last almost 2 hours, says, and I quote, that self-determination is allowed. I'm going to take calls, but I will end this program just before 8 p.m. because I might have to transmit a program and I need a bit of time to set up. When you call, go straight to your point, and then let us make it as very, very, sharp, straight to the question, so that we can move on to as many other callers. It's still the same number. Don't try to call any other number apart from the studio line. If you don't know the studio line, don't bother. If you're not aware that the studio number is the one in front of your screen that I can see, I have so many monitors and screens here. So if I can see the number, there's no reason why nobody can see it. You can write it down, save it, and when we are doing a program, that is the only number you will call. Plus 44 74 04 40 5917. Plus 44 74 04 40 5917. So we will take calls probably up to 7:30, 7:40. Then I'm going to wind down and close the broadcast. Once again, it is the Monday, edition of the education as we prepare, for what is about to happen to Nigeria. Nigeria has no right to stop us. We are not fighting the government. Likewise, we have no reason to be scared of the government. We cannot be bullied as well to what we want. What we want is, we want to be recognized as a nation. And we will be recognized as a nation just as Taiwan was recognized as a nation. Even though Taiwan is not a member of United Nations. But they have a lot to offer the world. And the world is happy with that. At least the world is excited. But even though Taiwan and China kò dán mọ́rán, because China gongo ló ń block Taiwan. But ìyẹn ò dá àgbáyé dúró láti má bá Taiwan ṣe. So táwa náà bá náà máa dá dúró, we have the right to that, and nothing can stop that. We would not be bullied by any government, any opposition. What we are saying to those outside the world is, this has to be resolved, and it will be resolved between us. Nobody is coming to save us. We will save ourselves. We will protect and defend ourselves. We will enlighten ourselves. and we will make sure that that country that we have known for a very long time will be history for us to be talking about. Omadi Tononi. Some people say it's not going to happen. You cannot sit there on the social media and dictate what is going to happen and what is not going to happen. It's not for me to argue with idiots, because he's an idiot person. With everything we have said in the last 3 years, we'll still be talking about Odibati leader kan bá fọwọ́ sí. Ṣé lè wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí alọ́nlọ́bì pẹ̀lú àwọn political criminals yín? The criminals that do not respect and value your lives. The criminals that has made your life miserable. And the criminals that have actually turned the Yoruba land into their own commodity, where they can take anything out of it and nobody asks questions. We will stop that with a system that is working. We will make sure that we enlighten you and prepare ourselves so that we can all exit it together. Nobody is pushing anybody. It is entirely up to us that our destiny is not in the Christendom. Our destiny is not in the Muslimdom or the Isheshe. Our destiny is to get the hell out of Nigeria before Nigeria will eventually sink every one of us. Don't joke with this movement. And if you joke with it, it is entirely up to you. Just as people thought Taiwan would not be a country, today, Taiwan is a country of its own. And they are doing very well around the world. Ọmọ Taiwanese kò ní láti sá káàkiri láti lọ ṣe ẹrú bí àwa ṣe ń sá káàkiri. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the professionals that are against the movement. But you have actually run out of Nigeria as a doctor, nurse, engineer, whatever your profession. You are actually now in another man's country, building that country on a daily basis. But yet, you are against, the decision of the Yoruba people to have their own independent nation. And we have the first caller. Like I said, we are not going to be long on this broadcast anymore, but let's go with the first caller. Hello, good evening and welcome to the program. Okay, any lot of mute background, because that is always the conflict between us and our callers. Stick to the mobile phone call alone. Mute the background and we can go ahead. Hello, caller.
Hello,
It's on. We can hear you.
God bless you.
Amen.
I do be fún gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ bá wa sọ. Ṣùgbọ́n mo gbọ́ ohun kankan lónìí tí ó ọkàn mi jẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ nínú ìròyìn Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n sọ. Mo sọ láti Spain.
Okay.
Ó ta gbọ́dọ̀ wípé wọ́n sọ fún pé Sunday Igboho pé wọ́n sọ pé wọn ò ní wá sí Nàìjíríà.
Ta ló sọ yẹn? Ẹ má go further. Ta ló sọ yẹn?
Nínú ìwé ìròyìn tí wọ́n sọ.
Okay, so ìwé ìròyìn tó sọ yẹn, the same thing as mo tẹ̀tí play it, but I'll play that before we go. Is a KOIKIMEDIA, and they are not going to decide when Sunday Igboho will come. I will tell you when Sunday Igboho is coming. That's all. Well, like I said, if you have followed the program, these are KOIKIMEDIA. So. Well, okay. Come on, when the time comes, everybody will realize it. Well, like I said, if because I spoke with Chief in the morning and we have laughed about it, and I've already posted a message down to say there was also the page you already Instagram or LinkedIn economy posted see but the posted sorry Google platform posted because people don't follow this platform, but it's quick for people to listen to all these things. If you follow our platform fully, because the way attention follows our media to one in Spain here to just Bogi media, you must go and watch and listen to us on our status once in a while. Go there by now irú ìtẹ̀sẹ̀ sọ nísìn á ti kúrò lọ́kàn yín but ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wàá pè lórí program nísìn is because you have not checked those platforms. I have put it out already that Igboho is coming. Kódà audio yẹn náà ni mo post it síta because ìyàn kan ló send it sí chief, and one thing they need to understand is chief is coming back, and that's all I can say.
That is great because gbogbo àwọn tó ń sọ fún mi tó ń pè mí láti ilé yẹn because à ń bá àwọn kan sọ̀rọ̀ nílé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn à ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn yẹn wọ́n send messages ní pé mi ò gbọ́ lóyìn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láti Nàìjíríà ni. Wọ́n á ṣàlàyé fún ẹ pé kí n tẹ́ ń sọ yẹn kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Nígbà tí mo wá ní kó képe ẹwà lórí kinní lónìí mo ní ò jẹ́ kí n confirm.
Well, like I said, it is already confirmed. Emeka to drag here is already confirmed. There's no need. Chief is coming back, and that's all we can say. Eshegoni, thank you so much. Eshegoni.
God bless.
Eshegoni. We appreciate everyone that has called. Like I said, if you listen to anything, you can go and check on my page. And if I've said something on it, then that should be more than enough. Like I said, most of the media, not every one of them, but they are Bole Kaja media, okay? I post on our community on YouTube. Community means I can post something there, you can read it. But because, like I said, a lot of people will go and listen to Yaka said, Pilado, and all these, ignorant, while we are there trying to educate you. Yaka said does not do what I do. Boast. Pilado only do what they call voiceover. So why should you go and listen to them when we are educating ourselves? 2 hours that if you educate our nibi by. So, and that's all I can say. Let's go straight to the next caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, Mr. Koiki. Kalesa. Question, sir. Yes, sir. Nǹkan méjì kan mo kàn fẹ́ sọ fún àwọn èèyàn wa. Pàápàá ètò máa ń dùn mí jù ní àwọn youths wa. Àwọn students wa nílé ṣẹ́rí àwa Yorùbá a kàn máa ń brag pé akàwé tó máa sọ pé àwọn èèyàn kàwé wọn ka ọgbọ́n orí in fact mo fẹ́ sọ pé àwa Yorùbá ni wọ́n rí fáàsì because ẹ jẹ́ ká wò nípa ọ̀rọ̀ èmi ló bẹ̀ Tinubu ni mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa now à ń pariwo pé ká filẹ̀kẹ̀ sídìí Tinubu nítorí pé ó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá accepted. Nǹkan tí mo máa ń bá àwọn èèyàn sọ ní bókè let's assume pé a gbà fún Tinubu a ní pé òkè òun ni ká dìbò fún kó lè bá wa ṣe kíni kó lè bá wa tún orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá wa ṣe àbí kó bá wa gba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wa but àwọn èèyàn àwa ọmọ Yorùbá pàápàá àwa ọmọ kéékèèké youth nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tó yẹ ká máa ronú fúnra wa ká ní Tinubu ó tẹ̀ wá débẹ̀ Ṣówórè àwọn méjì yẹn ló jẹ́ Yorùbá káwọn ìkànnà méjì yẹn kán wá dé orí àga yẹn kán wá mú constitution yẹn Ọlọ́run fún wọn ní agbára because ẹ tó bá ti dórí ibẹ̀ yẹn kò sí nǹkan tó lè ṣe tó bá tún lágídí irú Ṣówórè yẹn ó lè ṣe Tinubu ó lè ṣe tó bá fẹ́ ṣe bó tiẹ̀ wá change constitution Nigeria now Tinubu wá lo ọdún 8 ó change constitution Nigeria yẹn gbogbo wa wá ń gbádùn à ń ṣe yọ̀tọ̀ mi pé ọmọ wa ló padà bá wa ṣe báyìí ẹ sọ fún mi ẹ̀yin èèyàn pàápàá ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ ẹ̀yin student tí Tinubu bá lo 8 years tán tó bá wá kan Fúlàní tí Fúlàní náà débẹ̀ ẹ sọ fún mi tí Fúlàní náà fúnra ẹ̀ bá wá sọ pé òun náà máa change constitution ta ló fẹ́ dì lọ́wọ́ mú ẹ wá gbádùn ọdún 8 ìtẹ́mi sọ fáwọn èèyàn nìyẹn pé òkè mo ti gbà pé òkè mo fẹ́ tẹ̀lé Tinubu ṣùgbọ́n ṣẹ́yìn òró báyìí Tinubu will not be there for life pé ó tẹ̀ máa débẹ̀ ikú ò ní pa àrùn ní ṣe ó máa ní agbára ó máa ní capacity láti change constitution Nàìjíríà yẹn àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá dédé máa gbádùn fún ọdún 8 gbáko tí Tinubu bá kúrò ní orí oyè tí Fúlàní gba ìjọba ṣé Fúlàní ò ní padà execute plan wọn ṣé ó gbélé ìtẹ̀rò pé wọ́n gbé jáde tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà sí ṣe rò pé wọ́n ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ plan ẹ̀ ni ẹ̀yin youth wa ẹ̀yin student wa ṣe rò pé àwọn Fúlàní ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ plan àwọn nǹkan tí ó ń yọ jáde ní ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà sí ni Fúlàní níbi tí wọ́n gbọ́n dé wọ́n lè má ìgbé òkè ẹ filẹ̀ jẹ́ kí Tinubu ṣe lóòótọ́ àti gbọ́ pé ó fẹ́ tún constitution ṣe ó máa jẹ́ káwọn àwọn èèyàn ẹ̀ gbádùn ẹjọ́ ṣe bó wáyé fẹ́ ṣe wọ́n ò ní máì láti dúró fún that good 8 years pé kẹ́ ẹ fi gbádùn ẹjọ́ kí ló ń dínà táwọn àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa àwọn students wa nílé tí wọn ò ṣí ọpọlọ wọn náà á dẹ̀ sọ pé àkàwé issue pé tá bá gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá náà ní recognize wa says who ṣàwo is because wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé àwa Yorùbá a máa ń lẹ́nu wọ́n lò lọ́kàn wọn pé ṣẹ̀rò pé àwọn bíbú ìṣàṣẹ̀rò kan láyà akẹ́bọ̀jẹ ṣẹ̀rò pé tọ́nà fẹ́ ṣe ìṣẹ̀rò kan lè ṣe ibẹ̀ ló yẹ káwa ti yára wa ní ọpọlọ káde tí ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn aṣíwájú wa tí wọ́n lead the struggle yìí ká wá gbogbo ọ̀nà bá ṣe máa gbára wa jáde kúrò ní ìjọba mùjẹmùjẹ yẹn nítorí pé kí ni tá a bá jáde lẹ́ni mo ń fi ọwọ́ ẹ̀sán yà ní pé Britain ló máa ń kọ́ recognize Yorùbá nation kí là ń bẹ̀rù fún àwa ni ká gbé fíẹ̀ wa ká lọ kì í bọnu náà ká gbàgbé ń pa fíẹ̀ ẹni ṣù ti bàbá wa Sunday Ìgbòho fúnra wọn sọ wọn ní àìmọye Ìgbòho wọn máa mọra wọn náà àìmọye àwọn Ìgbòho tó wà ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá yẹn ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má gbé ọkàn lé Sunday Ìgbòho ènìyàn lásán ni Sunday Ìgbòho ènìyàn lásán bíi tèmi àti yín náà ni ẹ má gbọ́ ọkàn lé pé torí pé Sunday Ìgbòho yẹn wọ́n ti wá sọ pé Sunday Ìgbòho kò tẹ̀ wá sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lóòótọ́ àbí kí Sunday tẹ̀ wá sọ pé òun ò tẹ̀ wá ní sí nínú mega rally ṣé ẹ̀ ní jáde ni abẹ́mọ̀ ẹ̀ka di coward now ṣé Sunday Ìgbòho nínú 60 million ẹ má gbọ́ ọkàn lé Sunday Ìgbòho.
ẹ ṣe gan ni yàrá because of the time I'm gonna. ẹ ṣe gan ni thank you so much. I'm sure they'll listen already. Eshegoni, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go because that's about almost 5 minutes, 32 seconds, and we haven't got all the time today. And that's what we have said again and again. Millions of us coming out, we will shut down the whole of Southwest, and they will understand that we are not joking. Hello, and mute the background, please. Regular day now, I get my mute, I get to my plua, and shall you mean now? I go as I'm going.
Ìgbà kọ́lá kan wà lórí kíní ni mi ò pé ẹ máa gbé ẹkún ètò.
Ètò ni ẹ.
Mo fẹ́ mú àìdíà kan wá ní. Ṣẹ́rí gbogbo extracts àwọn bóyá bíi two line bóyá gbàtà bá máa jáde fún mega rally yẹn lára bíi screen tó máa wà lórí mọ́tò tó máa project through àwọn wordings yẹn a máa produce at intervals irú ọ̀rọ̀ tí Jonathan náà sọ yẹn náà tẹ play recently wọ́n máa project yẹn náà tó rẹ́dùn míì wọ́n ní time láti wo kíní tá à ń wò yìí but during that time they may be able to see them.
Okay.
Mo kàn mú àìdíyà yẹn wá ní.
No problem. Once again, we are just about 2 minutes past 7 p.m. local time in London, as we are now, where people also have their own say because we're all involved. Hello, caller. Hello.
Mr. Koiki.
Hello, I'm going.
Mr. Koiki.
Etiwa on, I'm going, sir. Well, Emma sorry, my pick voice because no save number.
Just about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, all right. There's a lot of
3 days ago.
Okay.
Mo confirm me only sorrow much because I confirm more. We are after the program. We are maybe
maybe after the program, it's a call after the program. Let's not drag it back after the program, so then we take it out from there.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
God bless you. Once again, plus 447404405917, and let everybody continue to prepare and support the ground for their people. Don't expect anybody that will do it. You must help your community towards the super rally. That's all I will continue to say. Hello, caller.
Hello, Bobolo.
I'm going.
Àmọ́ ní àkókò tí a wà ní gbogbo ilé ẹgbẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa kọjá sí ilé wa. Ó pẹ́ tá a ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ a kọjá sí state wa ká kọjá sí gbogbo gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wa ká lọ ṣiṣẹ́ bẹ̀. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká sọ pé lágbájá ń bọ̀ tàmàdó ń bọ̀. Bàbá tá à ń retí tó ń bọ̀ ẹ ṣe ẹ mọ̀ pé a sì ní the same local government. ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé àti nídìí state bàbá ò lè fi state yẹn lẹ̀ kó wá bá ẹ ní state yẹn bàbá ò dẹ̀ lè sọ́ra ẹ̀ di mẹ́wàá jà fúnra ẹ ní ìkórìtà tí adé yìí olórí lórí rẹ̀ mú ó ti ká lára ṣọ́ra ẹ lọ sílé ẹ jẹ́ ká dorí wa mú ẹ lọ sílé ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé tí a bá tiẹ̀ dẹ̀ wá gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí ìgbà yẹn gan lòṣèlú fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní pẹrẹwu ìwọ tó bá mọ̀ pé ó ní òṣèlú ṣe lọ́kàn tó ní kọ̀ọ̀kan tó fi ṣe lọ́kàn lọ sí kúkú gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì yẹn sì kó tètè tó máa ṣiṣẹ́ kó o mọ bó ṣe máa ṣe kúkú gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì yẹn kó o lọ túra ẹ ṣe dáadáa bẹ́ẹ̀ kó o lọ kó àwọn YouTube lọ́bẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ gbára nílẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yegun jẹran kẹ́ ẹ tó lè ráyè ṣètò ẹnu yín kẹ́ ẹ tó lè ráyè gbé ayé rọ̀ ní wákàtí ní ìsìn bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ẹ gbé àpótí kí àpótí ìbáwò tẹ gbé ẹ lè gbádùn ara yín o nínú ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà kò sí ìgbádùn kankan nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tẹ bá kọ́kọ́ gbé àpótí tẹ bá wọlé tó bá pọ̀ ọ̀la kọ́ sún àìní yíyàn wọ́n á kọ́kọ́ lọ rí ọwọ́ níbo kan tí ò yẹ kọ́ rí ọwọ́ mi nígbà òde ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní ìlú Yorùbá torí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ò ní fẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ wọn fi ọwọ́ sí nǹkan tí ò yẹ kọ́ fi wọ́ sí ẹ jẹ́ ká jàjàngbara ẹ̀ délẹ̀délẹ̀ torí Yorùbá bọ̀ wọ́n ní tọ́wọ́ ẹni ò bá ti tẹ̀kudà ká má pẹ̀lú ikú tó pa bàbá ẹni àkókò rẹ̀ tí a máa jàjà yẹn tí a máa gbára wa lélẹ̀ láì jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ mi mọ́rú ẹyẹ póòtù tó lè fẹ́ lọ tó lè fẹ́ jà tó máa débẹ̀ tó máa gbádùn ẹ̀ tó máa jẹ́ ìrọ̀rùn fún ẹ o ẹ jẹ́ ká tètè gbéradì nísìnyí lókù gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì wa ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wọ́ọ̀dù wa ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bẹ̀ state wa ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ tí tá a bá tiẹ̀ tọ́pọ̀ tí gbọ́ tán tí gbọ́ bí 20% tó kù tán tí gbọ́ tán bá rí wa wọ́n máa dìde tán bá rí wa wọ́n máa dìde ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ lé ká lọ ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun ká ṣe taratara ká padà ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tá a bá ní lọ́wọ́ tá a bá lè fi ṣiṣẹ́ yìí ká fi ṣe mo dẹ̀ gbà kàdúrà Ọlọ́run àrùn gbogbo wa lọ́ba bá ṣe ń tẹ̀lé yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ràn a ti ń gbọ́ láti ìgbà tí bàbá wa Kóìkì ti jáde ní ìsìn pé ẹ gbọ́ràn tọ́ bá ní kẹ́ ṣe báyìí ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe tọ́ bá ní kẹ́ ṣe ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe ìgbọràn sàn ju ẹbọ rúrú
ẹ ṣé gan ni bí yàrá ṣe sọ just for me to add on top of that gbogbo groups tó wà WhatsApp group continue to work and prepare your mind to help yourself prepare to help yourself prepare everything you can prepare. It does not matter whatever it is to defend yourself, for medical, for food, for survival. Not just for you, but to also help others. And that's the most important key. Yes, as much as we are saying that Chief is coming, Chief is not going to be in every part of the Yoruba land. That means every one of us will say, we want the sovereignty of Yoruba land. And we will then have to do what needs to be done. What are the things that needs to be done? There will be a lot. As an example, it is your responsibility. Because it's not the responsibility of me alone. It's not the responsibility of all the media. It is the responsibility of every single one of us. We are trying our best with the little resources that we have. But for that to go towards to the end, everybody must now also contribute their own effort. We are at the last lap, and there will be a lot of things that people will be saying that sometimes, but one thing, like I said, is, and I've said it 3 years ago, this is the country that have run for more than 108 years after the amalgamation. Nigeria today is a sovereign nation. And it has been so for 108 years. Before we got independent, Katogba independent, the creation of Nigeria ti wáyé, ìyẹn là ń pè ní 1914. I'm independent ọ̀tọ̀. Òyìnbó, ìgbà tí wọ́n amalgamate wa, for years again, wọ́n ṣẹ̀ tí wá ṣẹ̀ jà pé kọ́ fún wa ní independent. Eléyìí tá fẹ́ gbà náà nísìn, a fẹ́ kúrò nínú not just independent, but also the amalgamation. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń pè ní pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ di amalgamated. But politicians kankan dey sort it out. Welcome on board, Mr. Matthew Egbelade. No politician can resolve the problem. It does not matter how strong they are. It does not matter how powerful they are. Oh, only connection. Oh, no more everybody. Atiku lo strong. They cannot. And it's the fact. All they will do is they will be there. You know, people will recognize them. Hey, politician Lombo here. You know, where is Kashamu today? Buruji Kashamu. Ibono wa nisin. He's gone. But he left the same problem. But where is it today? He's actually gone and left the same problem as it has been before. Problem that we face solve nisin is not the kind of problem that politicians face solve. Our face solve destiny wa, and that is the difference between us and them. I don't have any problem, like I said, with any one of them. I don't hate Tinubu, but I'm not going to allow Tinubu or Showore or any of the, you know, the governors, the deputies, the senators, the House of Assembly to deceive us and tell us that our destiny is inside Nigeria. Our destiny is not inside Nigeria anymore. Our destiny is now outside the name called Nigeria. And everybody knows that. The British have never argued that we don't have ethnic groups among us. Britain only sọ nísìnyí pé èmi ò ń ṣe indigenous. But in Britain máa sọ fún yín ni pé, well, since we have amalgamated you, we know that there are a lot of problems. It's intercommunion crisis. That's what they normally it's not intercommunion crisis. We are demanding that we want to be recognized as a nation of our own, and nothing less than that. So gbogbo pé àwọn youth tó ń sáré kiri kàn lọ fẹ́ vote anybody out. You cannot vote anybody out because it's an agenda that has been put there since 1914. And we must not allow that agenda to continue. You don't have to agree with everything we are doing, but when we have our nation, we will then also start looking at, okay, and then we will have a constitution that binds everybody in that citizen of that country. Omo Taiwanese nation is recognized based on the fact that he must represent a country. Our nation and the Nigerians niwa, but even the government does not recognize us outside. The Nigerian government, as far as I'm concerned, does. Omo Nigeria come on Bahrain nation to fe lole nation. He's stuck. He doesn't even know how he's going to go back home. And we say we have embassy in Bahrain. So what is the value of that citizenship? Kí ni value citizenship here? And this is where we must understand that it is no longer a joke. Everybody from each community must now go and do whatever it takes to protect that community. Whatever it takes to make sure that that community is safe, as at the time we call for the super rally. And let's go straight to the next caller at 13 minutes past 7. Like I said, at exactly 7:35:40, we will end the program. But we now have our caller on the line. Bishop, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Koiki. Now, Bobo, àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n máa distribute oúnjẹ. People need to know them. Ìwọ tó máa serve oúnjẹ níbí báyìí, àwọn tó máa gbé oúnjẹ fún bẹ́ẹ̀ tó máa coordinate àwọn máa dá ẹ mọ̀, and it should not be changed. If not, we're going to have some politicians trying to do something and supply people with concussion or something that may be wrong, so we can protect that. I don't want to say some people try to poison here, so we should guide against that. It should not be done anyhow. We should all organize it. I want to make gbóúnjẹ wá fáwọn tó wà níbí tọ̀hún yẹn, àwọn tó ń gbóúnjẹ wá fún wọn láti mọ̀ ẹ́ pé ìwọ ló ń sáàbù wa. Either cooked food or raw. Ìwọ ló ń lead àwọn tó máa wá supply area bíbá ẹ̀ wọ́n ti dá ẹ̀ mọ̀. And it should not be changed. If it is done anyhow, anybody go look on my bill, our politician ma hijack here.
and they may bring poisonous food for people. One now Yoruba nation, so we should take note of that. Two, àwọn èèyàn tó máa wà lójú iná, they should know that àwọn location 419, àwọn ọlọ́pàá àwọn ti ra drone tó máa ń yin ọta ìbọn. Àwọn UK ló bá wọn ṣe, wọ́n ti ń train wọn lọ báyìí. So that wọn ò ní sọ pé àwọn ló ń yìnbọn. Drone yẹn máa fly lókè ní ìbọn wà lábẹ́ tó máa shoot. So and know that and how to track such drone. Ó lo petrol lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ is easy to destroy, but later on máa sọ yẹn, but people should note that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and that is a caller from there. Let's go straight before I do that. Thank you so much. Tobaniyan Prince is not a pet name. Somebody does not put a prince and princess and you think, pet name. No, they are linked or have a lineage to a royal family. And I can only say thank you so much, Prince Tunde Adebolu, for the super chat, and we appreciate everyone that is online. Let's take more calls. As we are saying, we should not be worried and scared. Recognize. I've given you 2 countries where I've spoken about Taiwan. Let's take the next caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, brother.
How are you? Amen.
Nigeria wọn ní kò sí Nigeria embassy ní Bahrain, Abu Dhabi nìkan láti ní. Problem ta dem face gan o ṣe kéré because even mo ní passport mi last year. Because presently mo wà Bahrain now.
Okay.
Presently mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ Bahrain mo wà, but kò sí. Adé mọ̀ kọ́ ní àwọn fi, so kò sí nǹkan tó pé wájú pé everybody wà lọ́nlọ́ ẹ̀. Ká náà ní country wa.
Okay.
Likewise mo ń sọ mi ìtún ní lo passport to Nigeria lájẹ́ mi wá sílé. Anytime mo fẹ́ wá sílé pẹ̀lú passport ti wà ní pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run. So Nigeria ò ṣe bí even because kì í ṣe nǹkan tó fi fọ̀. Likewise àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. So insult yẹn ti pọ̀ jù. So that gbàgbé pé àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ta ní sílé tó jẹ́ àwọn youth wa ó yẹ kí wọ́n ronú gbogbo nonsense náà ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn olóṣèlú yẹn kì í ṣe nǹkan tó ní ìdí nìyẹn. Because wọ́n jẹ ayé tí wọ́n máa yé. So tó yẹ kí everybody gbé orí ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ bóyá nítorí kí wọ́n ọ̀dẹ̀ kúrò lé ló jẹ́ kó máa kọ́ bẹ̀ because ìwọ́n tó bá jáde síta àmọ́ ohun tá a fèsì ní Dubai the same thing was still facing it presently ní Bahrain. Yes, mo lo a lot of time ní Dubai mo lo as our last year gbogbo pàtàkì ní Dubai gbàtà ìṣẹ́ra èmi fẹ́ mi wá bẹ́ẹ̀ báwọn mo mọ̀ nǹkan tá a face mo mọ̀ nǹkan tí Nigeria ń face ní Dubai till now over 2 years ago without no resident even I tún did it. Other countries mo do àtúntò jẹ́ pé tó close to Dubai the same thing náà ni tọ́ba fún pé because wọn fẹ́ mọ difference between bóyá Yorùbá ni bóyá kíní kan Nigeria because of their useless passport. So kí ló ń sọ nípa ẹ̀ ta ló bẹ yẹn iṣẹ́ bẹ̀yàn kan kébí akọ recognize wa ni àwọn akọ́lá máa bẹ̀ wọ́n ní pẹ̀lú ògùn Ọlọ́run àwọn fúnra wọn ló máa wá sí ilẹ̀ wa because of pé bọ́bá ní ògùn Ọlọ́run tán bọ́bá ní ògùn Ọlọ́run tó búyọ nínú ayé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tán fúnra wọn ló máa wá kì í ṣàwọn la máa bẹ̀. Àwa ọ̀dọ́ ni ká ronú wa ká mọ̀ nǹkan tí ká pe àrò àti ọ̀dọ̀ inú wa ká mọ̀ nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. Because olúkálùkù gbọ́dọ̀ wọ́n pé as my age kí ni benefit mi láti ní Nàìjíríà tí mo benefit for Nàìjíríà. Ṣáàṣìṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà ká tó kúrò ní. Ṣèbó olúkálùkù náà ń sá kiri ni. Ó kì í pọ́n Peter Sálọ́ náà ṣàtúnmọ̀ ká ta tún forí fèsì. Kẹ́tọ́ wí kẹ́tọ́ fọ̀ ẹ máa ti bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa ìmọ̀ tẹ́ bá fẹ́ gba sálẹ̀ ẹ máa ti claim ẹ máa ti create ẹjọ́ máa fún ya alágbájá máa fún bàbá kìnní kan máa fún kẹ́ńgọ́ tó plan ní tókè my family ìyàwó ọmọ èlò ló kù as my own ìgbòkè Badagry lọ́dọ̀ mi Badagry mo nílé sí they are selling the rice at 37,000 naira lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ they are selling me 60,000 naira one bag of rice adẹ̀tún ṣe continue lórí life yẹn ìjọ labẹ́ ló yẹn dà ojú òní sì wà brọ́dà mi
àmín ẹ ṣé gan thank you so much àmín lágbára Ọlọ́run àmín adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń bá wa dá sétò náà ẹ̀yin ọlọ́gbọ́n àtọlọ́pọlọ nọ́mbà kan náà ni òun ló wà lójú àwòrán tí a fi ń gbọ́ ètò yìí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá náà ló ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí ní tá à ń ṣe àmọ́ àwọn kan ní ẹ̀tọ́ táwọn fẹ́ lò fún 2023 wọ́n ní right àmọ́ ìyàtọ̀ tí ó wà láàrin wa ni pé àwa fẹ́ gba ìtóyìnbó gbà kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa báwo la ṣe fẹ́ gbà ó ti wà nínú òfin àgbáyé ta ti ń sọ láti bí ọdún 3 òfin tó wà níbẹ̀ ni pé a ní ẹ̀tọ́ láti sọ pé a ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ̀ àwa kọ́ la máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe yẹn lágbàáyé and we would not allow anyone to intimidate us pé tẹ́ bá wá jáde wọ́n máa ṣe yín léṣe wọ́n máa ṣe gbogbo yẹn àyè sọ̀rọ̀ ni. Let's get the next caller quickly. Hello, caller.
Hello, Koiki. Ekweto, Oduduwa Nation now, no going back. Honestly, kí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ kan. Inú mi máa bàjẹ́ gan ní pé nígbà tó wá fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ rally yẹn, that super rally pé mi ní síbẹ̀. Tótọ́ ni o mi ní síbẹ̀ but mo fẹ́ kàn sọ mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ pé inú mi máa bàjẹ́ gan but nínú gbogbo everything tí n bá lè ṣe máa ṣe and gbogbo àwọn guys mi tí mo wà nígbà tí mo wà ní Nàìjíríà òfò yẹn ní Abẹ́òkúta àti Èkó yẹn máa pè wọ́n máa encourage wọn máa motivate wọn pé ọjà actually àwọn èmi náà ti ní group ti tèmi o tí wọ́n tó ready tí wọ́n ṣe everything but máa make sure pé a jáde a gbọ́dọ̀ gba Odùduwà nation yẹn kò nídìí pé mo fẹ́ ká lo reference ní this guy tó lọ́ọ̀kì ní nípa grand guy yẹn mo fẹ́ ká lónìí a gbọ́dọ̀ máa preach peace in the face of violence àṣetán tí àwọn Nigerian government tó bá gbéjà wá mú mi pé tó bá ta sí wa àṣetá bá lọ ní normal peaceful tó ní ká ṣe yẹn ẹ̀tọ́ táwọn bá gbé wá a gbọ́dọ̀ tún ní kí àwọn èèyàn wa tún máa wà àti kọ́ máa bẹ́ẹ̀dì fún kọ́ máa bẹ́ẹ̀dì rò fún ó yẹ kí àwọn náà kọ́ counter with the same energy honestly nǹkan tẹ́mi máa ní kí a ṣe nìyẹn náà because tá a bá fẹ́ gbà ká ronú ti Sri Lanka nǹkan tó ń ṣe àwọn ṣe lójú lásán àwọn ṣe ní sójà ni ṣé sójà ò ti kọ́ kíkọ́ ni but somehow wọ́n lé president lọ tó ṣe wà ní exile forever tí ò padà wá táwọn kan Sri Lanka bá lè ṣe àwa àgbọ́dọ̀ máa fún sẹ́yìn àgbọ́dọ̀ máa encourage àwọn títí wa náà kọ́ máa bẹ̀rù anybody tí ìbọn kan bá dún látọ̀dọ̀ Nigerian government kí àwọn guys táwọn náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ ká fọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ pátápátá ká da gbogbo ẹ̀rù gbogbo ọkọ̀ ṣe pé kọ́ máa lọ́ọ̀dì ìjọ tó bá tún fún ifá tó bá pick any of them tó ń bá ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ òpè ká bá everything ọ̀hún gbọ́dọ̀ pick any of our people. Kò sí òfin Nigeria 1940 amalgamation ti expire ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀lé nǹkan ní Amẹ́ríkà yìí mo ti pariwo yìí gbogbo ẹ̀ mo mọ̀ òfin ló ń jẹ́ kí n máa pariwo kọ́ mo mọ̀ pé ọ̀hún lè ṣe anything sí mi as long as tí n bá ti exceed tí mi break òfin náà fi ń ṣe nǹkan. Everybody mọ̀ pé kò sí Nàìjíríà mọ́ o lè gbé bọ́ọ̀sì tó wá fẹ́ pè kò sí òfin kò sí rules 1940 amalgamation tó dé wa pọ̀pọ̀ ó ti expire since 2014 kò sí anybody tó lè halẹ̀ mọ́ anybody mọ́ tí police bá halẹ̀ mọ́ any of our agitator Yorùbá agitator káwa náà ká halẹ̀ ká gbébọn tó bá yìnbọn fún ẹni ọ̀bẹ káwa náà pa wọn immediately. Ẹ ká la ara wa tábà tí asọ́gà tábà tí ń jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wa mọ ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ní pé kò sí òfin ní Nàìjíríà mọ́ ìbẹ̀rù anybody tó bá ti ta sí ọ̀pá immediately.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Thank you so much. Because of the time, we haven't got all the time tonight. I only have just about 7 minutes before I start winding down. The most key aspect of the movement is a lot of people wants to know what is going on and how far are we. Like I said, if you have just joined, and I'm not going to take any more calls so that I'm going to concentrate and then I can finish up the broadcast because of the time I'm watching. The time is very, very important. People have asked the question, how is it going to be possible? Who is going to do it? Àwọn wo ló máa ṣe? Àwọn wo ló máa ṣe? Because àwọn èèyàn ti fojú dá àwọn politicians for a very long time. So ìgbà tó rí àwọn real politicians láàrin wa pa ibo ni Ṣèyí Mákindé wà, ibo ni Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún wà, ibo ni Sanwó-Olú wà, ibo ni Abíọ́dún ti Kwara, ti Ondo, and the rest, Aketi, and the rest of all these politicians. So to people, they're like, nah. Serious. And that's the fact. They don't see it as a serious thing. Wọ́n rò pé nígbà tí ẹ ní àwọn politicians láàrin yín tó ń control ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nísìn, then ẹ serious. Báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation tí ẹ ní àwọn olóṣèlú tó máa darí ẹ̀? But one thing they don't understand is gbogbo bí tí wọ́n ti gba òmìnira àwọn politicians ló yẹn kọ́ ni wọ́n fọwọ́ sí. So ní àsìkò tí àwa wà yìí ní ìgbà yìí ní èní Monday 21st of November 2022 at coming up to almost 7:25 p.m. we will take the back of our land with or without the politicians. If our politicians bá rí pé ẹ̀tọ́ wà fún wa láti gba òmìnira, the first thing is they must dissolve the house. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ dissolve House of Assembly. Wọ́n á dẹ̀ recall àwọn tó jẹ́ senator wá padà wá sísàlẹ̀. But they're not going to do so because their ambition is to keep the Yoruba people in the slave of Nigeria. Ká wà nínú ẹrú, ká máa jẹ́ Nigeria, knowing that there's nothing called Nigeria in the first place. It was all put together by the British government in 1914 called the 1914 amalgamation. Ìyẹn làwa fẹ́ di amalgamate. Britain ti ń control wa before 1914. Ìyẹn ni gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ slave trade tẹ́ bá lọ sí Badagry, history ẹ̀ wà níbẹ̀. Wọ́n wá kó wa lẹ́rú for years and years and years. Ẹlòmíì ò mọ bàbá bẹ́ẹ̀ because wọ́n ti kó lẹ́rú. Èmi kú sínú omi, èmi ráyè bímọ nígbà tó dáhùn, èmi ò bímọ. So some of us have lost those history. But the evil part tó tún wá ṣe ni pé nígbà tó kó wa lẹ́rú wọ́n wá ṣe yẹn nìkan, wọ́n ṣẹ̀ tún wá ṣe kí ni? Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ tún wá kó wa papọ̀ as what we now call the amalgamation. Wọ́n wá fún wa ní amalgamation yẹn, wọ́n tún wá hold wa ní strangle. Do you know that between the time tí wọ́n fi fún wa ní amalgamation, ẹ work it out, ẹ sọ kí ni between 1914 and 1960, how many years was that? Táwọn èèyàn ṣẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń jà, àwọn tí wọ́n jà fún òmì ìyẹn independent. After tí wọ́n amalgamate wa ní 1914, kò ń ṣe ìgbà yẹn la gba independent. Because we got independent in 1960. So a minus 1960 from 1914. How many years is that? And everybody thought, hey, nítorí a ti gba independent. And that is it. Hey, a ti gba independent. But àwọn kan wá ń bínú pé but nígbà tá gba independent, regional government lọ fún wa. Kí ló dé tí a padà sí regional government yẹn? Ìyẹn ni àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re tán náà wọ́n fẹ́ restructure. But wọ́n argue pé kí ni wọ́n ṣe dà wá papọ̀ àtẹ̀fẹ́ yẹn mọ́ rárá. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń argue yẹn. Argument tí wọ́n ní pé ká padà sí 1960 independent and the constitution and the regional government. But the question is, ẹ bèrè fún yẹn títí wọ̀ fún yín látìgbà tí wọ́n ti destroy the regional government 46 years. So that means pé for 40 ọmọ tó bá bí ní 1914 gan kó tó di pé ẹgbẹ́ independent is already 46 years old. We cannot say that gbogbo ẹni tó bí ní 1914 ṣì wà láyé nísìn. I'm sure almost everybody is gone. But a mọ̀ pé àwọn tí wọ́n bí from 1950 1940 a sì lè máa sọ pé bí a díẹ̀ nu wọn lè wà, I don't know. But one thing we have to remember is nobody is going to give anybody restructure Nigeria that you are looking for. And that is the gimmick. That is the lie. That is the fraud. Oh, wọ́n máa fún wa ní restructure tí APC Tinubu bá débẹ̀ á fún yín ní restructure. Àtíkù ní tóun bá débẹ̀ òun á fún yín ní restructure. Peter Obi ní tóun bá débẹ̀ òun á tẹ̀ bá Igbo sọ̀rọ̀ àtàwọn Biafra àti àwọn Yorùbá. Ṣòwòrẹ́ ní òun á sọ wá dọ̀rẹ́. Kódà ó fẹ́ lè rí àwọn máa jẹun nínú Aso Rock tóun bá débẹ̀. Everybody knows it's a lie because The union of the 1960 gangan was not a strong union because Britain ti kọ́kọ́ ṣe màdàrú láàrin ẹ̀ because wọ́n increase the number àwọn north nígbà tí wọ́n ń ka censor. So already the independent was already a fraud. Ẹ̀rí dẹ̀ wà pé the first election tó kọ́kọ́ máa ṣe ní Nàìjíríà ní 1959 Britain rig election yẹn fún Hausa. So báwo lẹ ṣe wá fẹ́ rò pé ẹ máa gba restructure yẹn padà? Èyí tẹ́ ẹ̀ tí gba restructure, why then do we have to hold on to Nigeria? Is a question, and if anybody can answer that, send me an email at info@koikimedia.com or musakalam@gmail.com. Send me your own, right, because our Yoruba, I like ká máa kọ̀wé ká máa ka oríṣiríṣi síta, but we are saying that all this is just akamamaṣa analysis yẹn títí ni tèmi náà máa fi darúgbó sínú ẹ̀. Ẹ wọ àwọn tó ń jà fáfẹ́nifẹ́re nísìn, gbogbo wọn jà and they were honest. But at the end of the day, they never got what they want from the failed government. Afẹ́nifẹ́re tí ń jà fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, we agree, but wọ́n fún wọn ní nǹkan tó fẹ́ yẹn, so why should we remain in Nigeria? Why should we remain in a failed country called Nigeria that is not working? And that has been the argument. My name is Olayemi KOIKIMEDIA. You might not be happy that we want to break the country you love so much called Nigeria, but it will be for the best interest of everybody. It will be for the best interest of the Arewa, the best interest of the the Biafrans, the Middle Belt, and all the remaining ethnic groups. Because the argument always is, kí lẹ máa ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn minority tó wà láàrin wa? If Nigeria has to split to 15 countries, why not? Estonia is only 1.3 million and it was dissolved out of Soviet Union in 1991, December 26. We should not be worried and scared of the future. The future will be brighter than the one that you have in the shit old country you call Nigeria, where as of today, there is no value in Nigeria. Sọ pé a fẹ́ kúrò ní Nigeria nítorí pé Fúlàní tó ń bẹ nínú igbó wa. We want to return back to who we are before the British government put us together in 1914. That should be our first topmost priority. That fake amalgamation that put us in the danger we are today. And as we end the program, I would like to appreciate everyone that have stayed tuned. I cannot take any more calls, and this is where we're going to wind down the conversation. I am still the same person. Like I said, many people will do different things. It does not make any difference. Let us all remember that Nigeria is a big elephant, and we got to kill it from every angle. I am not fighting Buhari. I am only fighting for our people to be free. Dead or alive, it doesn't make any difference. The politicians in the Yoruba land would not give you access to everything you want. You will remain a statistics for them. And that statistics is not something that I want to be part of. Yoruba nation is the only way out of the danger that we find ourselves. Let us go now. A lot of people say it is not going to happen. I say it will happen this year. Some people say, how is it going to happen? I say it will happen just as things have happened in the past around the world. But one thing is, for it to happen, every one of us has a role to play. I will play my role, you play yours, and we come and become a formidable force. And on that note, I'll be back again. We might be going maybe some other broadcasting later, but we'll see how it goes. But for me, I'll be back again tomorrow, Lagbara Eledumare. And those that are saying the Yoruba nation was declared today, like I said, just as you saw it, I've watched the video as well. Like I said at the beginning, Nigeria is a big elephant. Anybody can kill it. Anybody can do whatever they believe will be good for us. And that's all I can say. And the most important thing is there will still be more message from Benin Republic as at when we will come out for the super rally. And when we come out for the super rally, we will then also do the instruction that will be given to us at the appropriate time. If you have a group, protect yourself. Remember, for us to survive in what is about to come, it will take everybody to do exactly what is needed. Have a very good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching, and bye for now. At 8 o'clock, there will be a nation address from Simon Ekpa, Biafra time and Oduduwa time.
Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful.